Live from the VVR studios in downtown Boston, it's showtime. Welcome to Violent Vinyl Radio. I'm your host, Des, and as always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts. First up, the podcaster, holding all the aces, Dangerous Dave.
Hola, caballeros y chicas. Happy big game day.
Yes.
Is it still a thing that you can't say the proper name or you will get in trouble?
Yeah.
Well, happy superb owl day. That owl is the best.
Thank you for not torpedoing the show by saying the Super Bowl.
Oh, no, you said it. Ah!
And last but not least, the podcaster who likes the dark side of the beat, Lisa.
I couldn't give a crap less about football.
How dare you? The Patriots win the Super Bowl.
I'll watch for Green Day.
Okay.
I'll even watch Bad Bunny. It's not my style of music, but I'm here for that. I'm ready.
All right. As always, the mission of this show is for us to introduce each other and you, the listeners, to albums and bands which you may never have heard before, like this week, while also discussing the classics. So sit back and try to enjoy the show. Dave, where can they find this fine podcast?
We are available on most podcast outlets. Also, check us out on YouTube. Give us a listen, like, subscribe, and share. Please tell a friend about us. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. It can really help out the show. And also, engage with us on our social medias. You can like, you can comment. It is free. We are on Instagram at VVR Podcast Insta, and we are on Facebook at Violent Vinyl Podcast.
All right. If you want to help the podcast, you can head over to our merch store at vvr.printify.me, where you can pick up coffee mugs or t-shirts for this show or our sister podcast. Hey, did you ever see that movie? Let's head over to the mailbag. Now, I am always bitching and yelling here, but this week, you guys were awesome, man. We got a bunch of new subscribers on Spotify, which is awesome. We got a bunch of comments. We're not going to read them all, but we're going to read the ones that count. So I just want to thank everybody, and it shows, you guys stepped up, you commented, you interacted with the show, you subscribed, and it made a difference. The algorithm showed us a little love on this show. So I thank you all for doing that. What do we got for mail this week?
We got a bunch of mail. So, yeah, you guys definitely came through. Thank you. Please keep it rolling in. We have some new Instagram followers. Please welcome aboard to Bands You Don't Know Yet, Callie, Brandy, Sean Martello.
Sean Martello.
It's about time you followed us.
Jesus,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Crap.
Welcome to Leo, Lone Wolf James, and their guitar player Tim Evans. I've played shows with that band. They're really good. And also Eric. So everybody buckle up. There'll be squalls ahead.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm going to read the first message. We're going to go back and forth because there's actually quite a few. Let me also say I stepped away from social media for the past couple of weeks. Been a little upset. So I didn't get any mail personally to me. So I'm really glad that everybody mailed the main mailbox instead of me this time, which I think is fantastic. So I'm in not a great mood. So let's see what I'm going to say.
All right.
Okay? So we got a message from Am3986 who said, "What? No love for AVH? Dude, Des, come on, man. As a drummer myself, I love AVH. One of my..."
Alex Van Halen.
Obviously. Did you really need to say that? Because, isn't that just who he is?
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is AVH?
Really?
No. No, it's Alex Van Halen.
All right.
Just in case people are new.
Yeah. This is commenting on our last episode where we discussed Van Halen's 1984 album.
Yes.
So to go on, one of my top 10 have always loved his drum setups. He essentially was the first guy to make drums visually interesting. That's true, wouldn't you say?
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of.
Way before anyone. One of very few drummers who never, ever overplayed. Awesome fills. And that snare drum is a pure liquid blue pill to my system. Have never, ever heard a better sounding drum kit than AVH's recorded drums on Balance, which he says actually was an awful album, but
I
great
agree.
drums. Yeah.
Terrible.
But great drums, he's saying, yeah. Now, as a person, do not like the guy. Everything I've heard of him is not good. I believe he was the main reason behind all the Van Halen drama. Read Noel Monk's book. Also, leaving Hagar out of the book spoke volumes. The way he treated Mike was also so uncool. He was a not-so-fun drunk most of his life, as far as I understand. Very uncool. Anyway, great episode.
Yeah, I replied to him and just said, it's just personal preference for me. I get why he's a drum hero and, I get all that. But, hey, everybody's got a fucking opinion. It's like an asshole. And I got a huge one, as you all know.
All right. Next up is Kevin Kane -P4U. And he says, "Hey, Des. Yes, I'm still listening and loving the show. You guys are hilarious. Thanks for picking my suggestion, Asphalt Ballet. I think it will meet the VVR mission, introducing a good rock band many would never have heard before. We'll see. Thumbs up."
Yeah. Dude, how funny was that fucking diabetes bit last week?
That was so good.
Because
I love Dylan.
Yeah, she slides the shit in. I don't know. I listen to the show because I'm a fan as well as a fucking host. And fucking when that fucking I won't talk to you about diabetes. I almost fell out of my chair. That shit was funny.
She's good. She's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another message from La Gazaladra. I'm so confused, so mortified. Des loves Michael McDonald, who I can't stand, and doesn't like Alex Van Halen as a drummer. And Dave loves House of Pain, 99% for 1984.
That's right.
What is going on? Lisa's 82% is more realistic. Thank you very much, La Gazaladra. You're right, by the way. This album has 4.5 gems and the rest is filler. Sorry, truth. Anyway, VVR rocks.
That's how I saw it too. So I'd like to address Lagaz's Michael McDonald comment, okay? So I have a ritual. You know what? Let me paint you guys a picture, okay?
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
I come home from work. Hard day. I'm sore. I'm stressed. So what do? I head into the bathroom. I draw a piping hot bath. I add a fourth cup of peppermint meringue, shea butter body lotion to the water, and I mix it around until it's silky and smooth like breast milk. Then I set the mood lighting, and I cap it off with some sexy saxophone jazz in the form of the great Michael McDonald, and I slide in. And my troubles just melt away. Let that sink in, folks. Let that sink in.
Oh my God.
Folks. There you go.
Dylan, you need to deep clean the bathroom.
There's a picture for you, everybody.
I actually indulged in that not 45 minutes ago. Okay.
All right, so Radio Universal says, another great episode. That Paul Stanley persona impersonation cracks me up every time. All right, thank you. We'll need to go to vvr.printify.me to get some new VVR swag. Yes, please.
Oh, nice plug there, Radio.
Yeah, my VVR first generation tee didn't survive December. It shrunk after the Christmas holidays. Go figure. He's up on the cookies and eggnog.
Those shirts don't
no
shrink.
refunds.
They're not made of cotton. They're made of polyester. You're just fat.
Just kidding. Great episode. Nicely done, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Paul Stanley. The radio.
You realize that in my real life, this goes on all day, every day with the Paul Stanley impersonation. Yes. Yeah. And David Coverdale, too. So both of them.
Yes.
And then there were some more requests for Lisa's fucking relaxing storytelling.
My ASMR.
Yeah, ASMR.
OnlyFans.
Like, yes. When can I fucking sign up? Where do I sign up? Is there going to be a Patreon? It's a joke. She's not going to actually do it, everybody.
I really should, man. I'm in the wrong industry right now.
I
I'm
guess
telling you.
I replied to one of the messages and said, I wish somebody wanted to hear me talk, but all I ever hear around my house is shut the fuck up. There you go. All right. We got one more, right? Ben Brooks?
We got one more, Ben
right.
Brooks. So Ben sends us, thank you for reading my comments from all 3 months ago. Even I forgot I sent it. So sorry, Ben. We're so glad we found those. I have a suggestion for the melting pot. My best friend has a band in Stockholm, Sweden called Trench Dogs. As I know you love Dogs D'Amour and Hannah We Rocks Des.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, you'd never know by that fucking shitty song I posted in the last episode. But most of my music doesn't sound like that. Just so you know, I was just bored. Christmas vacation. I fucking wrote a dumb song and I posted it. I regret it. Whatever. My shit don't sound like that, but whatever. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let's head over to the VVR melting pot. So as you know, we're trying to share music from independent bands and songwriters. This week we are featuring the Trench Dogs. As you know, these guys are friends with one of our listeners, Ben Brooks, who brought them to our attention. And I am glad he did because they are fucking awesome. This isn't one of those situations where I'm like, oh, yeah, it was an awesome song. No. I watched the video, watched the song, started digging deeper. This is a band I'm going to be listening to on the fucking reg. They're really, really good. He asked them what song we should spin, and they left the choice up to him, and he chose Homesick Parade. What'd you guys think?
I thought it was a cool video. You get some fast motion travel through the airport, classic music video material, some trashy guitar, a little honky tonk piano.
So good.
I hear, 50s rock, punk,
Yes.
Cheap Trick influence in there for sure. Great sounding bass breakdown in the middle and a solid guitar solo. These guys look cool. You can find their Instagram at Trench Dogs Official.
Yeah, Lisa.
Very awesome.
I get a lot on these, so strap in, guys.
Right.
Strap in. Here we go. So I had never heard of these guys before, so I put on this video, and right from the first couple notes, I was like, oh my God, I know already I'm going to love this. We get a great song about being on the road and being homesick, and the video actually looks like what it looks like on the road. Tell me I'm wrong. It really does. And they go through those little, and the beat is actually quite fast on the song. So the speed up of the video goes right along with the beat. It's so cool. And what it shows to me is these guys, when you go on the road, right, there's a lot of waiting, right? There's a lot of waiting in the airport. There's a lot of waiting at the club. That's
what you're getting paid for.
Yeah. And you can see them trying to make the most of those moments, doing stupid little shit while you're waiting. And I just thought that was so cool. And of course, they're Swedish, by the way. Pretty much all the good music is coming. What were you going to say?
Nothing.
You were going to say something horrible.
I was just going to be dumb.
You were going to do a Swedish chef impression or something. Yeah, I knew it. You are so awful. Literally everything good right now in music is coming from the Scandinavian countries. And I'm looking at you, Suicide Bombers, as well. We'll talk about them in just a second here. So these guys look cool to me. Immediately, I was like, oh my God, they look just like Hannah We Rocks or LA Guns or New York Dolls or old London Choir Boys. Fuck you, Gary Ivan, and fuck you, Paul Guerin. Fuck you, Gary Ivan.
That's the vibe I got off them. They all actually look like my old singer, Richard Remy.
Yeah, they totally do that exact style. Or Izzy from Guns N' Roses. That style. Yeah. And when you hear the music, they look exactly how they sound. Yep. So the music is upbeat. I love how fast it is. We have a fantastic bridge in this song where the music comes down. You just have percussion and the acapella. I'm a sucker for a good bridge. Mm-hmm. This band opened for Michael Monroe in 2019.
Wow.
Did you know that? Yeah. Wow, cool. What a good fit. Imagine how great that show would have been.
Oh yeah.
So he did I think 6 or more shows in Sweden, and they were his opening band as he toured around Sweden. They also tour with the Suicide Bombers and another band called, right? Isn't that random?
Yeah.
And another band called Continental Lovers. They did a tour in the UK last year. I think it was May and June. And they did maybe 10 shows or something like that. There's a great article on Sleaze Rocks with all the guys from, or at least some of the guys from Suicide Bombers, some of the guys from Trench Dogs, talking about the tour and about what it was like to tour together. So that's cool. This band started in 2013. So let me say this. Why here in US were there not bands like this starting in 2013, 2014, 2015, right? Why don't we have cool music like this?
I tried. Just couldn't get
me
it done.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. So they
Didn't
had
work out.
Yeah, it was actually an Australian guy, Andy Hekandi, which I think might be the best friend of Ben. I'm not entirely sure. So he's from Australia, and he moved to Stockholm, and he met the drummer, Martin Martini Anderson. And by the way, Anderson, special spelling here, same spelling as my paternal family in Sweden. So maybe we are related there.
Great
Martin.
name, too. Great name, Martin Martini. I love it. It's so much better than like Sex Summers.
Yeah. Super great name. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And then you also had guitarist Matthias Johansson and Matthias, and Daniel Ekholm, who joined the group. Daniel Ekholm didn't join the group until 2017, so that's when they had their like final lineup going. They claim their influences, and tell me you can't hear all of these bands in there: T-Rex, Johnny Thunders, obviously New York Dolls, Hanoi, Faster Pussycat, and LA Guns, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't hear the LA Guns. I don't hear the LA Guns, but it's fine.
I think for me, what I like is that I hear the influence, but I don't hear any copying.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's
it's like the style, but they're not stealing anything from anyone. So yeah, I like that.
It was funny because I didn't think I'd ever heard of these guys before when Ben suggested it, and I went over and I watched the Homesick Parade video. I was like, oh, I don't know these guys. How do I not know this? It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's what I said. How do I not know this?
But I did. So I gone to their page and I was looking through their videos, and I came across a video called Self-Sabotage. And I'm like, oh, I discovered these guys like years ago on one of my deep YouTube rabbit hole dives where I'm just looking for cool bands for the day, which I do all the time. And I had actually watched that video, Self-Sabotage, which I thought was really, really cool. But it was like in what I imagine is the beginning stages of their band, you know? Yeah. And they've come a long way since then. They're like a different band now. Really great then. Love that video. You should check it out. But completely different than Homesick Parade, which is also amazing. But yeah, I had actually found these guys on a deep dive years ago. So fun.
Yeah. So their debut album, Year of the Dog, came out in 2018. And almost immediately they became one of the top rock bands in Sweden. Their second album, Stockholmiana, which it's interesting that they use, it's not Stockholm Mania, let's be clear. It's Stockholmiana, which is it's actually a genre of Swedish literature that basically talks about the history of Stockholm, right? So very specific name there, pretty cool. And that album, Stockholmiana, was produced by Harry Darling. You may recognize this name as the guy who also worked with Dogs D'Amour, Johnny Thunders, and Michael Monroe and the Wild Hearts. So
wow, you can't go wrong with that guy.
You cannot go wrong, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah. They have lots of other great music out there. Just to be clear, if you go on YouTube, they have tons of professionally produced videos. There's one called Wine Stained Eyes, which is fantastic. There's also one called Little Overdressed, which is great. They're playing in a radio station, like the radio guys like announcing them, and they look so freaking cool. On a related note, there's another band called Dynamic Drinking Club that has ties to the Trench Dogs. It is the singer and the drummer, and I think some appearances from the other guys. This one is more toned down music. It's still New York glam, but it's more acoustic, I would say. It's something you would put on if you were just like chilling, but like in the same genre. But same cool singer with that great like nasal voice that I love so much. But I'm just so thrilled that bands like this, bands like, Trench Dogs and Suicide Bombers and all of their friends are making this kind of music. We don't have this here in the U.S., and it's very sad.
No. So. The music scene here is completely gone. It's dead. It doesn't exist anymore.
It's dead.
Even if you had a great band, right? No one's going to show up to watch you play. Yeah. Simple as that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I played in front of my wife and the bartender. I'm like, why am I even doing this? I just dragged a Marshall half-stack down here for nothing.
Yeah. I wonder if, Stockholm, Oslo, these aren't cities that are what Hollywood was in, the early to mid 80s. Like everybody should be moving there and going for the scene,
Sure. Yeah. I'd love to move away from here. If I wasn't married, I would fucking move to the Philippines or something. Just live my life out happy. I'm so sick of living here. You know what's fun too is the singer. Like, if you go back to, like, that first video I was telling you about, the singer was kind of, like, more of a tammy-down. Like, he had bleach blonde hair. It was spiky. The bass player was all, like, they just looked so sleazy, glam rock, amazing. And, the singer went to the black hair look, the darker look, which I think was really cool. Suits him perfectly. And the band's just got so much style, man. Like the bass player, he's gone through a lot of different looks, like giant mohawks and just the cool spiky hair. And now he's like, embracing, his next, phase in life. And he looks great. They all do. They just have such style. So you really got to check these guys out. But without any further ado, hot from the VVR melting pot, I present to you Homesick Parade. There it is.
Such a great song.
It really is.
I think everybody needs to go out and follow their page and follow their social media. And all of the individual guys also have a big presence on social media, as well as Suicide Bombers and all those other, Chris Damian Dahl and all those other musicians from Scandinavia. So,
Yep.
Buy some CDs and t-shirts.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. All right. Let's get into the album, guys. Tonight, we will be discussing Pigs, the second studio album from Asphalt Ballet, produced by Greg Edward, released on April 6, 1993 on Virgin Records. The album did not appear on the U.S. Billboard 200. The band's lineup was as follows. Tommy Dean on vocals, their second singer. I was correct. He had a different singer on that first album, which is wildly different than this album. Two different universes, these two albums. Terry Phillips on bass, Julius Ulrich on guitar, Danny Clark on guitar, and Mickey Kinner on drums. Dave, you got any facts on this band?
I do somewhat. Facts are a little thin on this one.
Good.
Asphalt Ballet is from San Diego, California. According to Wikipedia, quote, The band's name was derived from descriptive terminology used to depict a motorcyclist crashing and skidding along an asphalt concrete road at high speed.
That's actually pretty cool.
The band is said to have elements of blues rock, southern rock, and has held close ties to the biker community. Discogs.com reports the band was active from 1988 to 1994. Virgin Records signed the band and released their self-titled debut album in 91. They were crowned champion of Headbangers Ball with the video Soul Survive that remained unbeaten, going head-to-head with Ozzy Osbourne, The Cult, and others over a 2-month period.
You're fucking lying.
No, that's true.
That's what
Oh,
it said.
shit. You're rewriting
100%
history.
true.
I don't remember that.
100%.
I did not look up MTV Records, but that's what it said on their
Feels like a
Wikipedia.
lie. That feels like a lie. Who wrote that? The bass player?
Probably.
Well, we can talk about the time frame then now too. So the
That's-
quote unquote champion of Headbangers Ball was, I think, 91, 92 era. You know, glam was dying at that point, and they were looking for bands that were a little something different. So bands like The Cult and even Ozzy were falling out of favor. So
True.
I'm not surprised by that.
True.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, their self-titled debut album had 2 songs on the Charlie Sheen movie Beyond the Law, currently available to watch on Plex and Tubi. The movie looks kind of terrible, but I've never seen it. Surprisingly, it has 73% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dave,
Let's get Charlie Sheen.
Dave,
Yeah.
have either of you guys seen a movie called Over the Edge with Matt Dillon?
Oh my God, yes. I love that movie.
I loved it, dude. I've seen it a bunch of times. I watched it again last night. I was just like, I gotta watch it. And a kid tells another kid, it's a dead kid. Check that fucking movie out if you haven't seen it.
God, it's been a long time since I've watched that.
Oh,
one,
me
but
too.
I watched it a lot back in the day.
I watched it during the COVID lockdown. I was like, oh, I remember this movie. So I watched it. I texted a friend. I'm like, you got to watch it. He watched it. He was like, dude. I'm like, dude. So I watched it again last night, and it was fucking awesome, man. Sorry to go off track.
So
Go ahead, Dave. Keep going.
Asphalt Ballet's first album singer, Gary Jeffries, left the band due to personal problems in 1992. And for this second and final album of theirs, singer Tommy Dean joined the band on lead vocals. This is what critics had to say about the Pigs album. The San Diego Union Tribune stated that Asphalt Ballet roars through the heavy metal catalog with maximum speed and skill, minimum fuss, and a welcome lack of pretense. AllMusic wrote that the band, quote, made a play at musical relevance via aggro alt-rock rather than the bluesy hard rock the group displayed a minor flair for on their 1991 debut. That's a backhanded compliment.
Sure.
It really is, isn't it? How
Ouch.
rude.
Next up, songwriting for tracks on this album are credited to the band, except for track 7, Crash Diet. We'll get to that one later in the show. According to allmusic.com, the album was recorded at Kiva Recording Studios. One source said in LA and one source said Memphis, Tennessee, and Virgin Convent Studios in LA. According to Wikipedia, quote, all members are currently alive and well with talk of a possible 35-year reunion.
Oh, wait till
Featuring-
Lisa gets a hold of them. We'll see if they're all alive and well. We'll see how well everybody is.
Featuring all original members at Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in 2026. The band had plans to release a live record that was recorded in 1991 at Dallas City Limits. Also recently discovered were 18 live concert videos from 91 to 93 that have never seen the light of day. Not many other credits for the guys in the band. The singer of this album, Tommy Dean, according to Discogs.com, never did anything else. Ironically, their first album singer, Gary Jeffries, has the most action with a few independent releases. Looks like more of a southern rock style as recent as 2023.
He went almost, I want to say almost country,
Sure.
southern rock country, but he's got so much music out there.
Yeah, I didn't listen to any
Yeah.
of it, but Yeah, he's got something out there.
Yeah.
According to Stevie Rochelle of Metal Sludge, in his article Tough Diaries #4, most of Asphalt Ballet was formerly in a band called Mistreated that moved from San Diego to LA and linked up with their original singer Gary Jeffries to form Asphalt Ballet. Also on Metal Sludge, in the article Donna's Hobag for September 22nd, 2002,
Wow.
we're really reaching back here. Gary writes in talking about how he met pre-fame Bobby Brown. Yes, Cherry Pie.
Oh my
Bobby
God.
Brown, when they performed at the same Star Search show in 1990.
She was on every Star Search back
She-
then, by the way. She won like 12 times.
And finally, the host of the Crash Course Metal Show, spelled with K's, Crash Course.
So edgy.
His name is Crash with a K.
With a K.
Compared this.
Is his first name Christy?
No, not that guy.
Okay.
Compared this album to the band War Babies, a band which I've heard of but never heard their music. So if you
Babies.
if you like War Babies, you might like Asphalt Ballet.
Did you guys see Steve Summers' new crazy fucking post he put up?
I don't follow him
Every
anymore.
post he puts up is lunacy.
Put up another one that was just insane. It was like fucking like
He's really into the AI stuff.
Yeah.
So he makes these like fake videos of himself that don't look anything like him, like being a rock star. It's very strange. And he has this stunning, beautiful wife. And even with this stunning, beautiful wife, he still like filters her and stuff like
He's
this.
such
And
a weirdo.
she doesn't need any of that. She is
No.
spectacular.
Total
So.
weirdo. Keep going.
Okay. So
What do you got?
I think these guys went into the witness protection program. after this band. I do have some on all of them, but the first thing I want to do is we don't often do an album released this late in the time frame. So this is 1993. So let's revisit what's happening in 93. This was like a nuclear bomb time of music. And if we go back and remember how we were feeling in 93, a lot of it was like all of a sudden, where did all of our music go?
Gone.
And we're looking around for something to listen to. Right? Everything we were listening to was still coming out of the 80s. There was nothing new coming out for us, and we were desperate for like something to hold on to. And if you didn't go to the grunge movement, you really had nowhere to go. Now, I was off into the industrial world at that point, but really mainstream music was empty. The radios were empty. Right.
Yeah. I went back and started listening to the New York Dolls.
Yeah, exactly. Back into the 70s.
Upon a recommendation from one of my coworkers at Strawberries.
Dude,
Yeah.
back in 93, I remember me and Pink, we had gone to like one of the last like Narcissus heavy metal nights there was before they shut it down. And like we just would walk in and fucking be like, yeah. So we had gone in this time, we were sitting up in some chairs, and there were like a couple of dudes behind us with like flannel shirts on. Like they looked like Ricky was a young boy, like Ricky from the Skid Row video. And they're like trying to throw gum in our hair. And we're like, fuck you. Like, yeah. So I remember it was the end of an era. End of an era.
It was rough.
Yes.
And the previous year, I mean, glam music was already dead, right? We had like Firehouse and Mr. Big were like the albums from the previous year. So there was nothing going on, right?
Yep.
And if you were in a band and had even the slightest sniff of a history in glam music, you were dead at the doorstep. It didn't matter if you were great at the new style. It didn't matter because you had the stink of glam on you and it was the end of you.
Gone.
So a lot of people were like suddenly out of work unexpectedly at that point. Grunge was king, obviously, but the Billboard charts had really only just started to show this. And Billboard had also separated just a little bit before this, a chart from the main chart pops called the Modern Rock chart, which is where a lot of the alternative rock, grunge rock kind of ended up on those charts. So the main charts were dominated by the Bodyguard soundtrack. And I have a nightmare from my time at Sam Goody of stalking the stupid single from this album, having like swimming in them, having them like fall on my head. It was brutal.
And
Assaulted by bad music.
Yeah. And you know, you had to play the thing over and over and over in this because it was on a constant repeat.
The song has been playing on a loop for 3 days.
Oh God, it was brutal. And and I don't know, like it was just such a rough time for music, and I was so done with it at that point. And there was nothing to sell in the store but this stupid soundtrack and this stupid single, and oh my god, it was brutal. So also on the chart that year was Eric Clapton Unplugged, which is a big thing. I think was that kind of the start of the real Unplugged movement. We had a little bit before then, but this is when they wanted every band to be unplugged.
Didn't GNR? I thought GNR really made it like fad.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Sure.
this was the era of it starting. You didn't see it in the mid 80s. Let's put it that way.
That Lies albums just set it on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Depeche Mode, Songs of Faith and Devotion was on the chart. Des, I don't think you like Depeche Mode, but
I love
the
what?
Oh, you do?
Paint me with that brush. I love Depeche Mode.
All right, cool.
Huge fan.
Yeah. Dylan would kill you if you didn't.
Huge
right?
fan.
So, yeah. Okay. Janet Jackson's Janet. And towards the end of the year, we had a strong showing from Pearl Jam's Verses and a very tiny peek at Nirvana's In Utero.
A band I learned to love over the. I hated Pearl Jam when they came out. Now, love Pearl Jam. Love Nirvana.
Still don't like them. And what was funny is, Pearl Jam came out and you couldn't understand a word he was saying.
Marbles?
Right? Marble. And that was cool.
Yeah.
And in our music, we're looking for people to like Tammy, where
Right.
you can understand what he's singing. So it was such a departure. Just crazy. On the modern rock chart, we had Screaming Trees, Jesus Jones, which I love Jesus Jones.
Jesus Jones, P.U.
I saw them recently with, I want to say it was 9 Inch Nails, but I can't remember. Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Dinosaur Jr., one of my favorites, Boy George, Lenny Kravitz. Controversy about Lenny Kravitz. I think, Dave, you don't like him.
No.
Yeah, and I do like him.
Not a big fan.
He's like, I don't know. It's like a rich kid who just had everything handed to him or something. I mean, he's a talented guy, but
you mean like Slash?
Yeah, Slash. I feel like Slash made it on his own.
Yeah, I'm sure that family money didn't come into play at all.
Yeah. We had 311.
Slash is way cooler than Lenny Kravitz.
Way cooler. Yeah. Way cooler.
I'll give you that. I do like Lenny Kravitz though. We also had 311, David Bowie, and the first showings of Stone Temple Pilots, who is actually one I liked.
I love Stone Temple Pilots.
They were on the Crow soundtrack in 91. I think that was how I got introduced.
He was such a great singer, man. Oh, he was so good.
Yeah. On the singles charts, obviously, as I mentioned, we had Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. The only shout out I'm going to go here is to Dolly Parton for writing that song and being the master of music. And we love you,
Amazing.
Dolly. Yep. We had the ever classic tag team with Whoomp, There It Is.
That's nice.
One of my brother's laughably favorite song, and he was, a hardcore guy, which was funny, but he knew every word to that song. He also knew every word to Rump Shaker by Rex in Effect, that was also at the top of the charts then.
What a weird time.
Yeah, and lots of other R&B stuff like Boys to Men, Dave's favorite, Mariah Carey, Naughty by Nature, and Prince with that fucking great song 7. He was going in a really weird direction at that point. I still loved everything that he did.
Was there any Michael McDonald happening at this time?
No Michael McDonald. We had TLC, Cypress Hill, and Dr. Dre.
Dude, Ride Like the Wind. Who the fuck doesn't like Michael McDonald?
Ben.
Ben Brooks. That's fucking funny.
So notable non-pop songs on the charts were Soul Asylum with Runaway Train.
That's a good one.
I hate that song with a passion. Dave's band covers it, I believe.
Yeah, one of my bands. Yeah, we play
Hate it. Okay.
I like that song.
Me too.
Duran Duran with Come Undone. Great song. Yeah. Bon Jovi, who had gone all soft with Bed of Roses.
He's
That's
a pussy.
good song.
I fucking hate Bon Jovi. He's everything is wrong. Stonewashed son of a bitch.
Aerosmith, who had also gone soft with Crying.
That's fine.
And I think his daughter and Alicia Silverstone were in that video that made it like a super video.
I loved it.
And soft shout out to Green Jelly, formerly Green Jello, who had the one-hit wonder Three Little Pigs on the charts at that time.
I don't recall it.
Yeah, rough year for music.
That early, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
So while the internet existed, it was
That's right.
mostly in colleges at this point. You weren't downloading music because you didn't have 4 days to do so. MTV and radio were still in control, and we were a decade away from digital services like XM and Sirius. So we didn't have a lot of digital influence on music still at the time. But it was the cusp of that, right? Because 2 years later, the internet was going to explode and was going to be in 50% of homes and so forth and so on. But for now,
It was still the olden days.
still the olden days, yeah. Also dead, and I think this is important, is the concept of a rock star. So grunge musicians didn't want to be rock stars, right? That was like their whole thing, right?
just stick.
Yeah, anybody who had like rock star style with decadence and the party lifestyle was out the door. And if you weren't like a brooding, angry grunge guy who didn't want any attention, but was grudgingly taking it, and
I'm an artist,
yeah,
man.
I'm an artist, man.
I submit that was the beginning of emo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
A
totally.
way different
Yeah.
look. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think people were saying that like now these musicians were finally more relatable to real people rather than these like superstars that were untouchable. You couldn't have glam music without the rock star, right? So everything was kind of dying together.
Yeah.
So Asphalt Ballet, their first album was in 1991 and second in 1993, which, as we've talked about, is way too late in the arc of glam to get any traction. And I think this is probably number one reason for their trouble at the time.
Oh, but Lisa, this is a grunge album. This isn't a hair metal album.
Well, we'll talk about that because I have some comments about what I think about that. Maybe it is. Maybe something else was going on.
Okay.
Bands were having, and it was impossible to make the transition between glam and grunge or anything else. A couple of bands tried. Def Leppard's Slang,
Oh,
Warren's Dog Eat Dog, or Kiss's Carnival of Souls, all failed spectacularly.
what? What'd you say? Gay? That ain't gay. That was hardcore.
Yeah. There was a couple of bands who did straddle the movements. Very, very few. And we talk about one of these pretty often, Mother Love Bone.
Oh, yeah.
They are fantastic, and they did straddle the world between glam and grunge, and they did it right.
Oh, yeah.
We covered their album in old
Yes.
in an old episode
Yeah.
of the old show.
We absolutely did.
And it was really good.
Yeah. And dare I say, I think Alice in Chains was one of these bands too.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
yeah, they started out as a glam band.
Yeah.
we never saw it though. It was
Never
hidden.
saw it.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
hidden from us.
But you could feel the undertones of the music. You could still feel it, right? But people would deny that. People, oh no, they're grunge, they're straddle grunge. That's it. I don't agree. I
One of
think
my
they were a
favorite
straddle
bands
band.
of all
Yep.
times, Alice in Chains.
Yeah, and some people also say bands like Saigon Kick or Warrior Soul did the straddle as well. I love Warrior Soul. They didn't really get anywhere. I don't think they didn't have a big enough name to be called a success in that area.
You could argue for Skid Row kind of successfully navigated that better than
When
most
you're on
other 80s bands.
when you're on Beavis and Butthead trying to be grunge and they're like, these guys are gay. They suck. They suck. Man, look at that guy. Looks like my mom. No, it didn't work. It didn't work.
And there were also bands straddling in a different direction, right? We had bands like Ugly Kid Joe, who were going into, I don't want to call it rap because it wasn't, but it was a different style of music. It was like glam and rock and rap and everything mixed together.
Yeah, it was
and
like,
I think this is where we went into nu metal.
it was like, what is this? It was like, yeah.
Faith No More.
Faith No More.
Kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
a little everything in there.
Love Faith No More. Yeah.
Ugh, not me.
Oh, good
I love
band.
them.
Good band.
Yeah. So Asphalt Ballet didn't do a huge amount of touring that I knew of, although I'll have a comment on that later. But they toured with Arcade, Great White, Bullet Boys, Bang Tango, Babylon AD, and Shotgun Messiah, who we recently talked about. According to Concert Archives, they played less than 40 shows that are, noted. This isn't totally true because we have some comments from the original singer, Gary Jeffries, and some others, that in that first year, 1991, there was over 100 shows that they played. So I think a lot of their shows are just not, noted.
Lisa, how many times have you seen Asphalt Ballet?
I have never seen Asphalt Ballet.
Wow, we found one. We found one
I
band.
bet she did. She was like in the bathroom at like a Bang Tango show, and she just doesn't realize they were on stage.
Yeah, I'm surprised. They didn't play a lot on the East Coast. They played a lot in the Midwest and on the West Coast. I think they had that was noted on Concert Archives, like 3 East Coast shows.
Okay.
Yeah, I did see one where they were. It was somewhere close to here.
There was a Connecticut show, and
Yeah, I forget. I was going to bring that up, but
yeah. So I think it's true that not all of their shows are listed, because I found a old flyer from 1991, which was Jet Boy, Junkyard, Alice in Chains, Electric Love Hogs, and Asphalt Ballet.
A lot of great shows.
And the comments on that particular show were basically that everyone was blown away by Alice in Chains and knew that they would be the future, that they blew everybody off the stage.
I saw Alice in Chains open for Jane's Addiction
Great show.
with L7 at a little tent down in Connecticut. It was probably like maybe like under 5,000, maybe 3,000 people. It was fucking amazing. And yes, Alice in Chains. Oh, so good. But that was the heyday of Jane's Addiction. So it was all about Jane's Addiction for me.
Yeah. So
sorry, here it was. I found it. I was going to note that Asphalt Ballet in March 12th, 1993 played at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Nice.
Nice. Right down the street from Vintage Vinyl Records.
Yeah. You were already in Boston at that point, weren't you?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was.
So
I've lived here.
Yep. Okay. Original singer Gary Jeffries came off a slew of bands dating back to the early 70s. What happened was he auditioned to be Quiet Riot's new singer, and he didn't get the gig, obviously. He decided to glam up his look, and he played with a couple more bands, including a band called Passion, who played with other bands like Warrant and St. Valentine. He then auditioned for the band Mistreated, which I think Dave mentioned. Mm-hmm. This band wanted to get away from their pop glam sound and go darker. Now, Mistreated was a very glam band, and you can go and find photos of them. They were like pure glam, big hair, lots of makeup,
Nice.
Yeah, really. And it said that their sound was like Warrant or Bon Jovi. They were pop, basically. So this is the band that would eventually become Asphalt Ballet when they wanted to go harder. So there's a quote from Gary Jeffries when he talks about what was happening at that time. He said, "This was the era of bands like Slaughter, Scorpions, Damn Yankees, Skid Row, Bullet Boys, Mr. Big, Cinderella, and London Choir Boys. There weren't many Southern rock singers in those bands. We were different. More different than a lot of the other late 80s and early 90s bands. People on the Hollywood Sunset Strip didn't know if we were cool or not, or if we would be the next big thing." They were signed and released their first album in 91 very fast. Now remember, they were signing everybody in 91 and putting out these albums like so incredibly fast, right?
Yeah. If you had a rock band in LA with long hair,
Yeah.
you were getting signed in 91.
You were getting signed, yeah. Yeah.
And dumped in 92.
Yeah. We've seen other bands on this exact same timeline doing 91 for their first album, crashing and burning before, right?
Oh, yeah. Tons of them.
Yeah. Coming into the Pigs album, they already had a dirtier edge from the first album. They weren't pop Bon Jovi style originally. They came into that darker music, but they also weren't grunge, right? So halfway through the tour for the first album, this is as they were getting ready to record the second album, the pressure from the label was they had to be darker and grungier, and they weren't there. They weren't there, right? In fact, their producer, Sam Bayer, had just returned from doing the video for Seattle's Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, interesting.
So that was their producer. And when he came back from doing that video, everything kind of changed for them. Basically, the band says that they were barely making $150 a week, working pretty hard. And Jeffries had a pregnant wife and no medical, so he had to go and get a day job. And that's why he left the band.
Interesting.
So, yeah. He continued in music, as we said. He would join a band named Coupe de Ville. Worked on his solo album in 2001, joined a band called The Regulators as a guest. The Regulators actually were a pretty big kind of Southern rock band, and had a band called Alligator Stew that did pretty well. He also did a lot more work with Asphalt guitarist Danny Clark. His website seems to be disconnected, but he's all over social media and appears to currently have a band called the Gary Jeffries Band based in Ohio. Asphalt Ballet dissolved basically right after the release of the Pigs album, with only a handful of live shows after that April release of the album. So let's go into the guys. Now, this was hard because there's not a lot on them, and I swear
ghosts.
Yep, I swear they're purposely trying to hide from us. But yeah, so Tommy Dean was brought into the band specifically to bring their music darker and harder and more metal. And let's be fair, he definitely was a metal singer.
Sure.
And they needed this heavier, darker edge to get anywhere in 1993. So he seemed to straddle between like Southern glam and grunge on this album. And there's some spots where I'm questioning if they're forcing him to do something he doesn't want to do.
They are forcing him to try to be Lane Stanley. Yeah. They're forcing him to be Lane Stanley.
Yeah, which they shouldn't have done.
They shouldn't have.
Before Asphalt Ballet, Tommy was in a band called the Tomcats, and there is an amazing photo of this band. I want you all to go search the band, the Tomcats. Tommy is pure glam, almost blonde hair, shirtless, looks a little bit like Sebastian Bach, skinny with lots of bandanas, the whole 9 yards. At least 2 of their songs live online in an app called Landr, Landr. I don't have that app, but it is basically like Southern rock mixed with glam. One song is called Living in a Madhouse, and another song is called Sweet Temptation. This band had great production behind it. Fans say it's even better than the Pigs album, and that Tommy should not have left Tomcats to be.
Oh, and the Tomcats had a member with the half black and half white hair.
They did, yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's cool, man. They look great.
Yeah, the Tomcats had a member of the band Icon, which you might recognize, Dan Wexler and drummer Pat Dixon, both of whom are still in Icon today.
Oh, cool.
Icon had connections to Motley Crue and Dokken through guitarist Greg Leon of the Greg Leon Invasion. They had a song on Headbangers Ball, Icon did, in 1989 called Taking My Breath Away from the album Right Between the Eyes, and they toured supporting Ace Frehley, King's X, Tesla, and Queensryche. Icon would have a total of 4 studio albums. Tomcats would go on to replace Tommy with a guy that just didn't have it, and the band crumbled pretty quickly after that, and fans were really upset. Tomcat fans have called the Pigs album unlistenable because the music was so much different. You're looking at his picture right now. That's him right in the middle. Yeah. Can you believe it?
No.
Blonde. He looks like Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I mean, that's what was popular back then.
Yeah. Interesting how this really glam guy was brought in to grunge up this band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Terry Phillips on bass. Before Asphalt Ballet, obviously Terry was in Mistreated, which we talked about. After Asphalt Ballet, he was in a band called 13A, which started in 1994. Now, this band was a new metal band out of San Diego that put out 2 studio albums, 96 Hectic and 99's Retro Engine, both available in their entirety on YouTube. Some have called this band hardcore. Most of their influences are hardcore, such as Robert Murray from Agnostic Front. But to me, it's not as much hardcore. It's more new metal. It kind of straddles the mix there. We'll talk about them in a second because a couple of the other guys from this band were also in that band. They did quite well, actually, and had a pretty big following. He played bass as a guest musician on one track on Tony Iommi's solo album in 2000 entitled Iommi. And that's all I have on him. So Julius Ulrich on guitar. Like Phillips, Julius also played in the band 13A after Asphalt Ballet. That was, hardcore-ish. On Facebook, he bills himself as an American songwriter and solo artist with major label releases, movie soundtracks, MTV rotation videos, and he's quite active on Facebook and apparently still playing. He has a project called Vagabond Junction, which seems to blend his solo music, which is called Julius Ulrich Music, into a kind of, at times, touring band called Vagabond Junction. And it's basically it's like Southern rock. It's like probably the direction that Asphalt Ballet should have gone in, and they would have been really successful in if there was a space for it in 1993.
Yeah.
Kind of like the continuation of that. Vagabond Junction has roots all the way back to 2011. And seems not to really have gotten off the ground as compared to Asphalt Ballet, as they didn't have a major label backing or anything like that.
Or songs in a Charlie Sheen movie.
Exactly. Yeah. He has a project named Dragvolt starting in 2018, where he plays guitars and sings, along with Mike Kiner. We're going to talk about Mickey Kiner, who bills himself different ways depending on the band. So he's Mike Kiner in Dragvolt, and Eric Ferentinos on guitars. Eric also plays with Stephen Piercy over at. Stephen Piercy really thinks Eric is something special. He's always talking about how he kind of shaped his solo sound. So
Cool.
For the Julius Ulrich project, he seems to have hit the ground running in 2021. He has a single called Down the Street, which released in 2021, and he has released a ton of music since then. So something happened in 2021 with Julius, and he has a prolific amount of music from 2021 to now, in the same way that we see Des making a ton of music and releasing songs constantly online. It feels like that flavor to me.
Nice.
Yeah. A song called Shadows, a song called Another Drug, hard to find. There's so many songs out there. And he has a big, huge presence on YouTube. So go there to see all his stuff. It's really good.
Wow.
Might even be better than Asphalt Ballet.
Oh.
Yeah. So he seems to have never stopped playing.
I shall check it out.
Yeah, he's active on social media and does often talk about and share info on Asphalt Ballet, including lots of old flyers, which is where I found most of the old flyers for the shows I couldn't find dates for, photos, and lots of magazine shots from back in the day. So.
Cool.
Danny Clark on guitar. He is the strong songwriter in Asphalt Ballet. He wrote their big hits, Soul Survive, and among some of their other hits. Before Asphalt Ballet, he was in a band called Bible Black, which was a metal, like a thrash metal band from Chula Vista, California. Not to be confused with Bible Black, a metal band from LA, or Bible Black, a metal band from New York, or Bible Black, a thrash band from New York. Yeah.
See, so it happens. It happens.
Yes, none from San Diego. No.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. They put out a demo in 1984, but seems like the members all went in different directions. He did join Mistreated before they became Asphalt Ballet and played in that kind of pop glam era. After Asphalt Ballet, he was also in that new metal band 13A. So it feels like most of the guys stuck together, minus the singer, in this new band 13A after Asphalt Ballet. He was in the Death Riders from starting in 2004. This band, he was billed as Daniel Gray, so different name there. He sang and played guitar. This band had a super cool look, which reminded me a little bit of White Zombie, kind of that like dirty, industrial look. The band is gothic metal. And had an album in 2005 called Soundtrack for Depression. I actually really liked it. It was good. I checked it out. Also had a band called the Death Rays. Not a lot of information on that, but there's also a band called the Underdwellers from 2017. He was in a band. This band, Underdwellers, had one of the guys from Green Jelly, who we just talked about in 1993. This band hasn't posted anything since 2018, so it seems like they have fallen apart, but they have lots of live performances online.
Lisa, what did you think of that Power Man 5000 album? The
Ugh.
big one. You didn't like it?
Nope.
No, I didn't.
Nope.
I was curious. I was just watching a thing on them on YouTube the other day. I'm like, I wonder if Lisa liked them because they were, electronic kind of.
Yeah, they were a little too generic for me,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like them.
There's a lot of bands of that time that tried to mix that electronic industrial with grungy rock.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know. Yeah, there was just too many of them, I think.
I really only knew the one video they did where he had the yellow hair, and I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
That's it. It was okay.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just like, there
never
were too
dug.
many of bands doing that
Yeah.
stuff.
I never dug deep into it, but I was curious.
Okay, Mickey Kiner on drums. He was in Mistreated with the other guys before Asphalt Ballet. He speaks about Mistreated and says, it wasn't a believable thing and sounded kind of contrived. It looked like the band was a 9-to-5 job. We weren't playing from the heart. We were doing it to make a buck. So That was about Mistreated. There are also some comments from him about Asphalt Ballet being very protective of their harder metal sound and like their metal edge. And they were sensitive when people reminded them that they used to be mistreated and were poppy. So that's a tough spot for them. After Asphalt Ballet, he was also in 13A, so it seems like everybody but the singer who was in that band. And they were pretty good, so you should check them out. He was also in Dragvolt. He was billed as Mike Kiner. So he changes his name on every album. So he's Mickey Kiner in Asphalt Ballet. He's Mike Kiner on Dragvolt. He was in a band called Ruby Slippers as Mickey, spelled differently, Mickey, Mickey Kiner. So
Mouse.
yeah,
Sorry.
That was Ruby Slippers.
Conditioner.
Yep. He's done some engineering and mixing and is credited as Michael Kiner for a band named Disgorge on their 2005 album Parallels of Infinite Torture. This is a brutal death metal band. So he produced a brutal death metal band, also called aggressive metal. They started their career in 1992 and have 4 albums total. This one that he worked on being their 4th and final album. He was in Vagabond Junction, we also talked about with Julius, billed as Mick Kiner. So there's a 5th name he went by. These guys really all stuck together over the years, it seems like. They, other than the singer who kind of fell off the face of the earth, the rest of them stayed together, did a bunch of different projects, and are still playing music. So off we go. That's all I got.
Dude, I was fucking watching another one of my favorite movies of all times is High Fidelity with fucking John Cusack. Yeah. So I had fucking, there's a scene where they're in the record store and, the guy's like, you guys are total snobs. You think you're better than everybody else? No, because you know more than them. Yes. And I was like, that is me, Lisa and Dave, so bad. Like just 3 fucking assholes with huge opinions. So we're trying to decide who would be who, right? So I, of course, wanted to adopt Rob, right? I want to be John Cusack's character. And Lisa's like, I'm totally Jack Black. So she's going to be Barry. And fucking Dave is fucking Dick all the way. I fucking love it. It just worked out perfectly.
You guys are snobs.
No, we're not.
No, seriously, you're totally elitist. You feel like the unappreciated scholars, so you shit on the people who know less than you. No, which is everybody.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
All right, let's do some quick opening thoughts on this one. So, Asphalt Ballet, Pigs, first album. I've never heard one note from this band ever in my entire existence. So this is all brand new for me. Dave.
Never heard this one before in my life. The name of the band was kind of familiar, so I may have heard of them at some point, but do not know any of their stuff from either album. Fresh listen for me. Looking up their hit video from their first album, I may have heard that one song. It sounded a little familiar. Sounds like 1991. I listened to some of that first album and it seemed okay, but not drastically different from the second.
Yeah, I think I'd heard the name before, but I'd never heard the band. And I was given the choice to pick either album from the listener, but I listened to both albums, and for me, this was more tolerable. It was, I don't know, Lisa.
I have heard this before, although I have very little memory of it. The reason I know I've heard it is because I still have it today.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. On CD.
You're one of the ones that bought it?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember if I bought it or if someone gave it to me as a gift, or I mean, it could have been a promo CD from when I worked at Sam Goody. I don't really know because I don't have any memory of buying it. I do remember the first album. I definitely had that. I definitely bought it. I remember the video for that one, Soul Survivor. 1991 to 93 was tough for me. A lot of music was being left behind. I was in college at the time and I was going to Man Ray and I was listening to, obscure German industrial music and maybe, American bands, Jane's Addiction, maybe in that era. I've never seen them live, not even in support of the first album. They played with a few bands I liked, but even so, I never got there. And as I said, I think they only had a couple East Coast shows to begin with. So, yeah.
You know what would be fucking awesome, man? I like to play Megabucks, play it every week. play a lot of DraftKings. If I hit the lottery, I would love to buy a little record store down in Harvard Square. I would call it Violent Vinyl Records. And I would pay you two to work there with me. And we
Nice.
could just like act out this little fantasy of living in fucking high fidelity where we could listen to
Nice.
songs and do top 5 fucking, lists on what we think is cool or not. And,
Talk shit all
talk
day.
shit all day and not sell records to people that want it. Like, no, you're a dork. You can't buy it. And we'd,
Kick people out.
yeah, we'd sell it to our trendy friend like Richard Remy. He'd come in and we'd be like, hey, Remy, I held this album for you because you're cool. All right, that's a weird little fantasy. Hang on, let me come back. Woo! Okay, let's rate the singer as always. It's 1 through 100, 25 on hair, 25 on style and stage presence, and 50% on vocal talent. I will get us started. So I did my review on Tommy strictly from the Angry Youth video. So he's going to get 21.9 on hair. It's straight, it's black, it's a little dirty. You can't go wrong there. It's fine. He gets 13 points on the moves and the boring blue jeans, but I added 2 points for the cool necklaces. So 15 points there. And finally on vocal ability, I gave him 38 points. He's got range, he's got power, he's got some decent harmonies. He gets a little pitchy in spots for me. But he does lack the big vocal hooks of somebody like Lane Stanley. There's a couple of spices missing in his soup that bring him to that level of a guy that I just really want to listen to over and over again. But yeah, he's a good singer. 74.9 for me. Dave.
Tommy Dean. Of course, as we mentioned, not a lot of material out there, especially on this singer. I did find a video on YouTube from user San Diego Music Awards entitled Asphalt Ballet 1993 San Diego Music Awards. Go figure.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'm assuming it's this guy who did the album. Did not look like the other guy. There are some entertaining comments on the video. For example, my heroin binge brought me here.
Oh, no.
And is this the only live clip from them in the whole fucking internet? And God, that singer, what the fuck?
Oh, no.
And finally, that is the worst Lane Staley and Axl Rose impersonation I've ever heard.
Terrible.
I'm giving him a 12 on hair. It's long, kind of plain, straight, and boring.
Uh-oh.
It was 93, so hairspray and weird styles were a no-no, but meh. 5 on style and stage. In the video I saw, he's wearing a plain t-shirt and some baggy pants. Yes, he's got tattoos, but he looks like he could be a roadie. He's doing this herky-jerky dance and cupping the microphone so hard into his face, he looks like a starving man with a turkey leg from Disneyland.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
This
As
is
a
getting rough.
part-time sound guy, this is a huge pet peeve. His microphone even feeds back during the performance because of his poor microphone handling. Any singer holding the mic like this is ruining the sound of their vocal, as well as making it 10 times more likely to feed back.
Dave, what's the position you never want to do with a microphone? Please explain it.
What's that?
What's the position that you never want to do with the microphone? Explain it.
Like this.
Okay, so don't fucking like. Okay, I got you.
Yes. So yeah, hold the mic by the handle for fuck's sake. That's what's there
And
for.
stay off the head.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Giving him a 19 on vocal technique. I know nothing about this guy, or if he did anything after. I spit all over my microphone protector here.
Yeah, you were fucking getting personal with that thing.
Yeah, I know nothing about this guy or if he did anything else after, but some sources indicated he was in an oldies band in Atlanta later on, but I can't be sure that it's the same dude. According to an interview with original singer Gary of Asphalt Ballet on Crash Course Metal Show, the new singer, Tommy Dean, came from a band called Geronimo, and Gary praised the Pigs album and Tommy's voice. The recording is okay on Pigs, the album. I can hear a little too much influence and emulation of other singers creeping in, but overall doesn't sound terrible. In the live video, Tommy Dean is kind of shaky. You know, who knows how much Jack Daniels he was sipping that day. but you can hear he might have a decent voice if he kept his shit together. Overall, I'm giving this guy a 36. Might not be 100% fair because of the lack of material available out there as opposed to a more famous singer, but tough luck.
There you go. Speaking
Wow.
of hairspray and hair, what do you guys think of this little haircut I gave myself? It's fucking
looks great.
Yeah, it
No,
looks fine.
very short on the sides. I did like a mohawk, so it's like very short on the sides, little spiky there, and then I made like this, like, I don't know, what do you call it, like a giant like spider or something in the fucking
Spider.
You bust out the Flowbee.
Lisa,
Yeah, that's fine.
Lisa,
Poof.
what do you got?
So I'm learning that Dave has some skills with that microphone.
No
'cause
doubt.
it completely disappeared, and I've got the close up view.
I would have
here,
hung out
so-
in a show longer had I known.
Wow. Right? Jesus Christ. Okay. So Tommy Dean Baines joins the band basically in the middle of the tour for the last album. And the band was in flux and music was in flux and everything was in upheaval, right? So he's now gone from a straight up glam style directly into what you would call pure metal, because that's what they needed him for, right? Metal, grunge, I don't know what to call it. His hair is very metal, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's long and thick and black and not glam at all, because if any, stink of glam was shown, it would have been
Yeah.
the end of the world, right?
It's
He
dirty.
had a much it's dirty,
It's
it's grungy, but that fit, right? That's what people wanted at the time, right? So he was fit, he had a penchant for performing without a shirt. The whole band, and maybe Tommy specifically, didn't have anything about them that made them stand out and be memorable to me. Like I noticed a little bit, like I think you said he was doing what other people did, right? So we saw the video and I was like, is that almost look like Typo Negative for a second? He's got a
Yeah.
Peter Steele vibe.
Yes, like an
know?
anorexic, tiny Peter Steele. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Malnourished Peter Steele.
Yeah. And to be fair, like he couldn't wear flashy clothes, right? Because if he wore flashy clothes, nobody would have watched the video, right? So he had boring clothes on. So to me, that's not a rock star, but you couldn't be a rock star. I mean, the look had to be more subdued, right? It had to be. It couldn't be glam. It couldn't be interesting. It couldn't be fun, because he would have stood out. But I want him to stand out, and he isn't standing out. Do you see my problem
Yeah.
here?
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't think this necessarily was Tommy's fault specifically, right? They're getting pressure from the label. They're getting pressure from, the producers. They're getting pressure from everybody to do what's popular right now and not necessarily be themselves. So what I saw in him is he's trying to be other people. He's trying to be somebody he's not. He's emulating other singers, and not emulating in the way we saw Trench Dogs, emulate Hanoi Rocks and New York Dolls.
Right.
He's copying.
Yes.
Right. And
There's a difference.
yeah, and maybe not well, right?
He needed something like a hook.
He needed a
he
hook.
needed like a Viking hat or a sword or something.
Dave, the whole album.
Props.
The whole album needed that. There's
Yeah.
nothing to sink into here.
Yeah. But again, I don't think this is his fault, because I don't think any of these things were his choice, right? I think he was a prop, almost like an actor in a space.
Sure.
And had he been able to make his own choices, it would have been different. So I'm giving him a 47.1. I think I would have given the original singer higher if we were doing the first album.
Yeah.
But that's what we're getting here.
So let me tell you something. Back in '93, if like Atlantic Records had come up to me in my last band and were like, "Listen, we're gonna sign you, but your new name's the Snowman, and you're gonna paint yourself white and put on like a white ski outfit," I've been like, "I think that's a fucking great idea."
Exactly.
Yes. Which
Yeah.
snowman will I be? Will I be Frosty?
Yeah, right. You do it for the money.
Fuck
and,
yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
And where else were they going to go? You couldn't be who they were. They couldn't
No.
be. So
I mean, if the snowmen are out there listening, you need a new front man or guitar player, call me. Or bass player. I can do anything. I can play anything. Fucking just call me up. We'll do it. Lisa, add it up. Where does this fucking guy land on the board?
okay, Tommy Dean from Asphalt Ballet. This is the 1993 Pigs album era. Difficult time in music. Ends up with a total score of 52.67, putting him at number, I can't read from this distance,
33.
33 on our chart, which is surprisingly, not the bottom.
Okay.
He's coming in underneath Gary Cherone and above Dave King from Fastway.
That's criminal.
That's
He needs to be on the bottom. Dave
No.
King is better than this guy.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all. I think he's right where he belongs.
I think Gary Cherone should be below.
Aw.
Yeah. I mean, no, he's not bad. This guy doesn't suck.
It's not his fault is the problem.
Yeah.
You know, had he been able to do his own style, he probably would have been great.
Yeah. I wish we were reviewing the Trench Dogs album. Okay. All right. Speaking of the album, let's get into it. Track number 1, Angry Youth. So I really enjoyed this as an opening track. I love the Alice in Chains and Megadeth, right? Like Alice in Chains and Megadeth, 2 bands that I really liked back in the day. This track has those vibes, right? So I'm kind of on board to start. Tommy's belting out vocals. We get some decent harmonies, but it's not Lane Stanley and fucking Jerry Cantrell, you know? It's just not. Lyrics, they're dark, they're dirty. So, I mean, it's good there. Band is solid. Production sounds good. I like the arrangement of the song. It has a strong chorus. So, I guess we're off to a good start. Dave?
Well, there's a video for this one. This looks almost exactly like Skid Row's Monkey Business video and 10 other videos. The band is playing in a warehouse with random chains hanging down. You mentioned Alice in Chains, and I think there was a Godsmack video that looked almost the same. The singer's in weird lighting with his shirt off. His voice gets a little sketchy on some of the high notes, but the chorus is good. Some lower octave vocal layering in addition to good old gang vocals. Definitely has some grunge influence, even though ironically I've heard that was part of the original singer's decision to leave because the record company was pushing them into this new trend. The song is okay for 1993. I wish they had gotten more original with their video. Looks like this was the only video they made for the album. I'm guessing as a, quote, glam rock act. They got chewed up by the 1993 record industry and dropped soon after this came out.
They don't look glam at all to me in this. This looks like 1993, 94 Seattle rock to me, like the eye test. This is the closest thing to a hit on this entire album. I mean, nothing else even comes close to this song. Lisa.
Nice dark guitar riff to start. It feels metal, and I don't know what I was expecting, but now I'm like, oh, it's a metal album. Didn't end up that way, but here we are. Maybe if we're gonna call it grunge, we're gonna say it's more on the Mother Love Bone side than it is on the Pearl Jam side. Lyrics are also pretty dark and very, very 90s. So you can compare this. So Angry Youth with Youth Gone Wild, right? Youth Gone Wild was a party song, like, you know, get us all together and going. Now we've got like people fed up with politics, seeing no way out. There's not a lot of money. There's, you know, it's darkness. And now we have Angry Youth. So here's our new anthem for the 90s, right?
Desperate and you know,
brooding and
yeah.
So a lot of rhyming on this song. I don't know if you read the lyrics or not.
No.
It feels a little bit uncomfortable when you actually hear the rhyming out loud. It does line up nicely, and I can understand most of the lyrics from the singer, even though they have a lot of grungy distortion on this. We actually have a hook in this song, which we won't have in a lot of the other songs on this album. I didn't like how grungy the chorus went at the end. It went full on Pearl Jam. Like the singer had his own sound in the first like part of the song, and then you hit the chorus and he's doing an Eddie Vedder impression, basically.
Yeah.
Guitar solo is decent for, you know, a grunge solo. It's pretty clean too. It's not sloppy. So, you know, I'd expected it to be more messy, like the grunge solos were at the time.
These guys are good guitar players.
Yeah, they really are.
They're not hiding that.
These are good musicians. And there is like a pseudo glam root in the guitar solo. You know, maybe even reaching a little bit more to, I don't know if you heard of the band Malfunction, with a K, Malfunction. It's a Seattle band from the early '80s. They are considered the original grunge band from Seattle, but it's a glam band. So if you go listen to the song like Jezebel Woman or Mr. Liberty, you'll see what I mean. There's a almost identical comparison there. I'm kind of glad they didn't go the way of Candlebox or Bush or Live because this was a better direction. And this video, like Dave said, it really looked like, at first I thought, oh my God, it looks like a Typo Negative video is the first thing I thought. And then I was like, oh, Skid Row. They're totally Skid Row. They went fully with the trend. There's nothing unique about this. There's like black and white footage interspersed with the warehouse footage, and they blast the color, like the flashing color with those cheap 90s effects on the video that like would give you a seizure, and they actually wouldn't do that today. So I think this was intended to be their anthem song and definitely their hit, like Youth Gone Wild for Skid Row. Comparing it to their video from Soul Survive on the first album, the first video had a lot more character. It had even though the shots are kind of similar and the band, is performing in an empty space and there's like sepia tones and things like that, but there's actually a story in the first video, and we get some nice storytelling and screenplay there. I don't know. I think Tommy's vocals aren't original enough on this. But at least in this song, I do hear some of himself in it, and it isn't a total across the board copy. So.
I mean, Lisa, you spiked a little light in my head with what you were saying, and Dave too. So these guitar players are good, but they're not great, right? And that's a problem in an album that's going to start off with the first 3 tracks being like your standard arrangements where you get like, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. And it's really standard and it's easy to understand. And the song, hits you and then it's over. After track 3, this thing devolves into a jam album. And these guys are going to just start playing the same dual solo over and over and over, and they run out of riffs, and the solos start sounding exactly the same. Like, I've heard them play that lick fucking 6 times already. I've heard them play that lick in that exact order already. I've heard them come together in the exact same way. They just run out of fucking licks. They're not good enough. These guys are not great. They're good. I
would argue, though, that some of that is what they were forced to do on this album. I think they're better than this album puts them out there to be.
But I mean, by track 9, it's just like they've run out of ideas for these solos. So they just start sounding like the same solo over and over again in the same song over and over again. We'll get there. Coming in at track 2, Weeds. So this one starts off with a cool little guitar riff, right? And once the tune kicks in, it's pretty good. But the only problem is it wants to be Alice in Chains, and it's just not as good. And I can't unhear Alice in Chains at this point. So there's no way not to be making this comparison in my head as I'm listening to it. Now, with that being said, had I never heard Alice in Chains, would this be great? Would this be Alice in Chains? No. It wouldn't, because it's missing, like I had said earlier, those hooks, those special moments that fucking Lane and Jerry would capture vocally that made you want to go back and listen to it again. None of that is here. The arrangement is fine. The band is playing good. It's heavy. It's a well-arranged song. It's decent. There's nothing I hate about it. But when it's over, I don't want to listen to it again. And that's a problem. Dave.
We got a Stratty raw guitar sound to start this one off. The guitars go off in separate directions, playing different parts, and it becomes a little distracting to the vocal. At the same time, the rhythm drops out. This could have been fixed by mixing properly. Lyrics overall seem fine. There seems to be at least some thought put into them, and it's not all bullshit. The chorus is okay. It's got a catchy melody. The guitar solo is pretty cool, echoey and Hendrix-like, and the end riff is pretty heavy.
Lisa.
Nice, funky little opening.
Yeah.
This, for some reason, this reminds me of the song, and I can't place what it is. We've lost the clear delivered lyrics on this one, and we've entered into the dirty, grimy, grungy lyrics, which, was right for the time, but it's very different from the first song.
Yeah.
We've got some interesting musical transitions from like the nearly acoustical verses to like the metal pre-chorus, and this really interesting bridge, which I like. It's very artistic. We have some nice lyrics in here. I believe truth is love is pain. It doesn't ever go away. And if you make it through another day, you'll find you're back where you started again. I like that. So
Yeah.
well written. Tells a great story with an interesting flow. Not much structure here. It isn't like a standard arranged song. And there's literally no hook at all.
No.
And I think that's completely intentional. I think that's the way that grunge music was at the time. Guitar solo is different. Again, very grungy and relying more on effects and feeling than on like virtuoso talent. Also intentional, I'm sure. Multiple genres I'm hearing here. I'm hearing some grunge, some metal, some blues, a little tiny bit of old glam. And at the end of the song, we go full on metal with almost like a psychedelic guitar riff over the top, which is what I think Dave meant by the Hendrix sound. The guys are all over the place, and it's interesting and different. And right now, I like this artistic stuff, so I'm in on this one.
It's funny. So that's two for two. Everybody's been like, not bad, pretty good,
Yeah,
right?
not bad.
Yeah, like we're off to a good start. I'm enjoying this album as much as I can.
Yeah.
All right, coming into track number 3, Daddy's Dying.
Hello and take the pain away. Now on my knees I pray. Still the glass, no sense in driving. Singers on board me, my daddy's dying. Like history, there's no denying. Shed a tear for me, my daddy's dying.
So Lisa, the first 3 songs in this album really all have their own identity, don't they?
They do.
They
yeah.
do, and that's important. So, I'm noticing that they all kind of have their own fingerprint. This one opens up with a little extra metal. We're going to get the Zakk Wylde guitar sound here, right? So they're dipping their toe back into the metal pool. And I like the little Zakk Wylde squeal. Like, yeah, give it to me. It's pretty cool. And the lyrics, the first 3 songs are okay, right? It's not bumming me out. There's no.
Like, I'm liking it. I don't like. I'm not finding anything that's like grabbing me by the heart and being like, this is everything. But I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
I mean, there's no lipstick and switchblades and it's not like
that's okay.
It's not going down the
That's
fucking
fine.
the total gayness rabbit hole. But yeah, I'm digging it. We get an uptick in tempo for the guitar solo. Really cool. But again, not a groundbreaking guitar solo. I mean, it gets the job done. It's fine. It's fine. But I wanted fucking Dave Mustaine here. I wanted more notes. I wanted it better. It just wasn't enough. It felt like a guy that used to play like Faster Pussycat style hair metal or, not a true technician trying to do that style of guitar. And I wanted to hear a guy like Dave Mustaine or Kirk fucking Hammett blister out some more notes. And it just wasn't there. Decent chorus again, just like the first 2 songs. But again, missing the mustard, man. Missing the mustard that makes me want to hear this chorus again. With the right harmony, maybe a second voice, a la Alice in Chains, maybe they get there, but it's not there. It's not there. But overall, another solid song, 3 for 3. We're off to a good start. Dave.
Dark and heavy sound on this one. Bummer song subject. Hey kids, if you weren't there for the big 80s glam to grunge changeover, on January 1st, 1993, fun was actually outlawed in the United States.
Yes, to this day.
If you were caught wearing an article of neon-colored clothing, you were subject to a ticket, similar to a speeding violation while driving. And Hairspray, forget about it. It was all pulled from store shelves. The economy of New Jersey was almost ruined by the disappearance of hair care products and the non-existent traffic in its hair salons. Just kidding, of course. But it really sucks that it seemed like at the time all the fun stopped, all colors were outlawed. You could only dress in black, brown, gray, and forest green. Of course, we didn't know how much worse it would get in the present 30 years later. I would trade in a second for back then.
Oh, shit, yeah. Let's jump in my DeLorean. Let's go.
Yeah. For the guitar solo, they crank up the speed. Nice job. I think they reused the hook line in this song a little too much. Yeah, we fucking get it. Holy shit. Next.
Dave, if we were going to jump into my DeLorean and head back there, of course, we'd have to stop the packing. We'd have to get a fifth of Jack Daniels. We'd have to stop in Charlestown and pick up an 8-ball, and we'd be on our way to 1989.
Right.
Woo! I actually use more hair product now than I did back in 91. Seriously, I really do. Lisa.
Glammy riff opening with the little guitar string bend in the beginning before it goes metal. Something immediately goes sideways. It's almost as if a completely different song comes in after that opening. I'm noticing the singer is very pitchy on this song, and I don't think it's intentional. I think he's just missing notes. The chorus is very melodic, and the background vocals are perfectly synced, but he seems off somehow. I'm wondering if they left it messy like this in order to make it sound more like a grunge album, and not like an overproduced, pretty glam album. Not totally sure, but something was weird there. We do get back to the opening riff, which again, I did really like. But then we drop into the chorus and it goes sideways again. A big metal guitar solo on this one. This has to be a different guitarist than the previous song. I wasn't able to pin down who actually did it because it's very hard to find any live versions of these songs. But this solo makes me think of Dave Sabo from Skid Row. We get a spooky gothy bridge. For a moment, I heard the Alice in Wonderland, the new one with Johnny Depp, Oompa Loompa song. Seriously, play them side by side. It is the same thing. Yep.
Oh, shit.
Lyrics here are pretty dark. Loss and darkness and grief without any hope of resolution. It's the reality of death, right? And take the pain away. Now on my knees I pray. So as I mentioned with the guitar solo, I hear a little bit of Slave to the Grind musically here, not lyrically, which came to me before I heard the end of the song. And at the end, the singer attempts a Sebastian Slave to the Grind era angry, gritty scream with a tiny bit of Axl Rose thrown in on top. So, yep.
Ouch. Coming in at track 4, Out of Hand.
Sideways, nothing matters if you wind up dead. Hypnotized by the almighty dollar. See my brother and he just sees red. Somebody save me. Nobody understands. Cause there ain't no tickets to the promised land. I believe this whole thing's out of hand.
So this is where, just buckle up because it's going to get bad now. This is where the album fucking just falls off a cliff into a cavern and just rots like a carcass in the sun. It fucking stinks. It's horrible. So Out of Hand. So I think there might be a good song in here somewhere, but they just missed the mark in my opinion. The song had some cool little guitar parts, kind of Jane's Addiction-y, I guess. For lack of a better comparison. There were some sections that were cool musically, but as a complete song, it just did not come together. Vocals and lyrics didn't feel completely fleshed out. I did not like this track. It just didn't work for me, but it did have a couple of little speckles in the pond, I guess. Dave.
The song is fine. Groove rock, a little generic. The octave guitar solo reminded me a little bit of the Alice Cooper band. I couldn't find any lyrics online for this song, and we hear lower octave doubling again on this one, and I have to wonder if that's influenced by Axl Rose on the Illusion albums.
Dave, there's
Good call.
there's a fine line between like not enough lyrics and too many lyrics, right? In my opinion.
Sure,
And
yeah.
an album like this, I just get to the point where I just don't care. I can't follow the story. I can't really follow what he's saying. And I just start to not really care. Like, I don't hear anything popping out that it's like, I'm like, oh, I fucking hate that. But I also don't hear anything where I'm like, oh, I love the way he sang that. I want to hear that again. It just becomes like this, you know what I mean? Lisa.
We get a little psychedelic metal at the beginning here.
Yes.
Lyrics are completely forced into the first verse. It doesn't flow at all with the music, and I'm very confused as to what happened here. The chorus, however, comes back in and the music evens out, but every time they go into the verse, we get this kind of forced feeling where it doesn't quite fit. And maybe it's the same thing as you, is there's just too many words.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a little bit of Warrior Soul in this song. But as I'm looking again for form in the song, because like, where's the pre-chorus? Where's the chorus? Where's the
Structure.
verse? Yeah, there's nothing there. There's no hook. And I'm realizing they're just kind of playing riffs and stringing together sections of music and making them into a song, which it's chaotic and it's artistic, I think, intentionally. And, I go back to that Typo Negative album, which is around the same time period. Of course, I love Typo Negative. They were the masters of doing this. And here I'm seeing it's kind of forced, right? Makes it a little hard to follow, but I think you're supposed to feel out of balance in this song rather than trying to find a pattern. Again, I said no hook at all. When they do get to the title of the song, they drop the notes down a scale, like almost to the bottom, to make it seem like an afterthought, right? Not a focus. We get a nice lead into the guitar solo, which fits again. For me, though, this one, the lyrics, which have a story, are completely pigeonholed into the music. It's like someone wrote the lyrics and then they said, oh, we have this music. Let's just force this in there somehow. And it just didn't work. The droning music, which has kind of a cadence, needed lyrics that had that same drone so you could get along to the beat there. And it just makes it feel unbalanced that they didn't do that. More nice guitar on the playout, but they seem to have moved far away from the guitar solo rock here and much more into early grunge. You almost barely can hear that part. So,
dude, Delyn was doing the ripping the music for the show for this, and she comes out. She goes, I don't fucking know. She goes, they don't have arrangements. I can't find the fucking chorus. I'm just putting a fucking clip of the music in. That's what you get. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, I totally get it. I totally get it. All right. Coming in at the number 5 spot, Save the Children.
When fathers fall, obey you do. God save the children. Take their souls and set them free. The way life used to be. God save the children. Away from backhand misery. From under lock and
So if you guys know me, you know that I hate the fucking title of this song. Fucking, this is so Mike Tramp. It's so fucking terrible. I hate the title. So unfortunately, we're off to a bad start. And then the title is the chorus. So again, we have a problem here. I'm getting some Megadeth vibes here. But it's not as good again. Then we get the guitar solo and it's okay. But again, I'm looking around for Dave Mustaine because in my mind, I'm hearing Megadeth. So I want to hear that fucking snappy guitar and it's just not there. I didn't love this one again. And again, the problem is you can hear that the fucking studio and the producer and the label is saying, we want you to sound like this. So they're trying to sound like that, but I've already heard that done way better. So that's a problem. I have to compare this stuff. It's apples to apples in my mind. And this apple has a bunch of bruises on it. Dave.
The song's kind of metally. Once the vocal comes in, I get kind of a Queensryche vibe until his voice goes up high. Got some acoustic guitar sprinkled in. I thought the chorus was okay, but they got a little artsy with the guitar solo on this one.
Ugh.
whoa.
I didn't like it. Dude, you know what this
We're
is?
going to disagree on that.
Listen, you know what this album is after track 3? It turns into Power Fish. Like this powerful jam band, like they're sweaty,
Yes.
they smell a little like BO, like you get your weird fucking ball of drugs from the back of a truck out in the parking lot. I don't know. What do you think?
I think I'm gonna call this a dark power ballad.
Oh, no.
It's about child abuse, but in a much less elegant way than
Yeah.
like Faster Pussycat's House of Pain was, right?
Yeah.
Style reminds me a little bit of Queensryche, who
Hey.
I hate with all the power and fire of hell. The problem is that I heard a tiny bit of Skid Row's dark ballads on Slave to the Grind era, so I'm torn here. Lyrics are too repetitive and empty. I wanted a story about what was happening to the children and how we were going to save them, but it's really just a blanket statement that children need to be saved. Okay, that's great, helpful, thank you. The one highlight in the song is the guitar solo. I like the weird discordant notes that before they kind of pick a minor key, super emotive and balanced, and has some classical elements that I like. But in this song, and for the first time on the album, I'm noticing that the drums aren't so great. I'm not sure if it was the production, but they seem slow or off. The tones are muted when they should be shining. The hi-hat is tinny. I hadn't noticed the drums in the previous songs. They seemed just fine to me. But in this one, it's sort of like that Metallica hi-hat that isn't executed great. Speaking of Metallica, the ending may as well have been on a Metallica song, with the storm and the single chord sustained guitar and the bell part of the cymbal. Was the cymbal not tuned right? Can a cymbal be not tuned right?
Symbols out of tune.
Is that
Sure.
possible? It was an out of
can
tune
be,
cymbal hit.
Fucking
Yeah.
cracking it or something.
Yeah. So now I'm going to listen to the drums a little closer going forward to see if it was just a fluke in this song, because I didn't
No.
notice anything bad in the previous songs at all.
Never listen to this again. You don't have to. Just go by memory. Coming in at track 6, Pigs. So here we're going to get the title track for the album. I mean, has a cool little musical intro. So, I mean, yeah, it kind of grabbed my ear because it wasn't the same thing over and over. Overall song is fine. Band's playing okay. Bass and drums are okay. Tommy sounds okay. But it's missing the hook again. It's just not there. It's starting to get boring for me. There's just nothing that I want to hear again, and nothing is grabbing my ear and making me say, I want to write this in my notes like, oh, I really love this part. No, it's just not there. But I'm also not writing down, I hated this part was terrible. It's just a glass of milk. Breast milk. Dave.
Yeah. Get a drum solo opening and the band fades in gradually. Long intro turns into kind of a funk metal song. It reminds me of another band, but I can't place it. Solid guitar solos, not super impressive, but just fine for the style. Some of the problems with this album, I feel like, can be blamed on the producer. Producer Greg Edward doesn't seem to have really done anything big. Looks like from his credits, he did a few albums from artists I have never heard of. Then in 1990, did a Corey Hart album and a David Cassidy album.
Nice.
So that's kind of the highlights of his producing career before producing both Asphalt Ballet albums in 91 and 93. Looks like he passed away in the mid-90s. But I wonder why they selected this guy instead of a more named guy. He did an okay job with the sounds, but there's definitely some choices I would have made differently. Greg does look like he's worked as a recording engineer on much bigger albums, and many times a great engineer can become a great producer, and maybe they were betting on him for that, but he did not get there on this album.
No. David Cassidy from the power group in 8 Is Enough.
Editor's note, Des is wrong again. David Cassidy was on the Partridge Family. Not on 8 is Enough. You idiot.
So we have the title track here. We get a very theatrical opening. I think they were trying to hit like Jane's Addiction, but it didn't quite get there. But maybe I'm biased because Jane's is one of my favorite bands. So when the vocals come in, holy sleaze glam, it doesn't fit the music at all. I want like the music and the vocals to fit. I like the vocals. I like the nasal whine. I like the sleaze glam. I want the music that matches that. That's what I want. I do think we have a great guitar solo here. So many pieces that could make this a fantastic song. I'm trying to figure out where it went wrong. They could have had a sleazy glam song. They pushed it too far into grunge. The rhythm guitar is so muted and the percussion is kind of dragging behind. There's no arrangement here, no hook. The title is hidden as an afterthought in what I think is the chorus or maybe the pre-chorus. And even the ending, we get a nice echoing glam high note. But like there was just too many feelings in this song. I listened to this one a second time and it grew on me a little bit. But again, I think it's the percussion that's making it drag for me. I know it's intended to be gloomy and it's intended to be grungy and maybe it was intended to feel like it was pulling backwards on you. But I wanted it to be more Jane's Addiction and less Nirvana. But I know for the time they couldn't have done that and maybe it had to be this way. So.
Well, I mean, you're echoing my thoughts there, like, yeah, I like the intro, but again, I've heard Up the Beach. It's way better. You know what I mean? So you can't just listen to it and be like, oh, it's a great original fucking idea, because it's just fucking not. All right, that's going to end side A of Pigs. So let's head over to the Should They Have Made It segment. And this week we are looking at the Guttercats and their song, Decoy Woman. Let's roll it. All right, I fucking love this song. I love this band ever since the moment I saw them on Married with Children. Great lyrics, great guitars, great arrangement, sleazy chorus, awesome image. I would love to hear this recorded in a big studio. I bet it would just be fucking awesome. Produced properly by like a really good producer. Oh, this band 100% should have made it. And I'm giving them a score of 99.9. They're fucking awesome. 1 point off just because I need to hear it in a big studio. Dave.
99.9.
Yes, sir. 99.9.
Okay. So yeah, we all heard this one in 1990 in season 4 of Married with Children in the episode Rock and Roll Girl, when Kelly Bundy becomes a rock video model.
Yep.
Let me tell you, it was such hard work having to watch this video over and over on repeat with poor Kelly Bundy chained to a fence. But I'm a professional and a team player. Damn it.
See, they had the band chained to the fence. It's different.
Fun fact, in the episode, the music video director is played by Adolfo Shabadoo Quinones, one of the stars of the 1984 movies Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh,
Amazing.
Yes.
fucking good.
Many of us wondered seeing this episode if the Guttercats were a real band or just some actors. These guys looked cool as fuck. They were a real band from Hollywood. They put out a 4-song cassette demo in 1990 and never anything else. They had a great sleazy Faster Pussycat, LA Guns, Throbs, Choir Boys, fuck you, Gary, kind of vibe.
You, Gary.
I listened to their whole 4-song demo, findable on YouTube. But warning, watch out, there are newer bands with the same name. It is super cool. Sleazy rock, slide guitar, solid bass and drums. So for the song we're discussing, Decoy Woman, it's a solid song with a great feel. As we discovered in a previous episode, bassist Bobby Lycon would go on to join Shotgun Messiah. According to a sketchy-ass tripod website I found online, guitarist Johnny Black was from the Philly area and formerly was in the band's Hot Rocks, spelled Hotrox.
So edgy.
Bad attitude. It also alleges he briefly dated Christina Applegate, the actress who played Kelly Bundy
Awesome.
after the show.
It's awesome.
According to Discogs.com, drummer Anthony Smediel
Nice.
played on a few albums by indie bands in the 1990s. And according to IMDb, has more recently worked as an assistant editor for TV shows. Couldn't find anything on the singer Josh Blake. These guys totally should have made it. Give me more sleaze glam. My score is 83.6.
Nice, Lisa. Guttercats.
I can't believe I went so long in life thinking that these guys were not a real band.
Oh,
Right?
Right.
That they were just actors.
Yeah, you just
in the
assume
show.
they were actors.
Yeah. And only since we started this podcast have I found out that they actually were a real band and this was a real song that they were playing. So
good.
I love that Kelly Bundy video too. And they don't chain her to the fence till the end, right? Because they make her walk around the set.
Yeah, and then she knocks over a guitar amp
Yeah.
and she
Yeah, and she
messes up
throws
something else.
herself on Bobby Lycan because she says he's cuter than the singer.
So
and
awesome.
It's freaking hilarious.
And so when they're on like the 65th take, they feel like, screw it, just chain her to the fence.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did find something on Josh Blake. He's active on Facebook and Instagram. It seems like he has a SoundCloud as well and is on other streaming services. He bills himself as an artist who was approached by 2 labels, Capitol and Polydor. He posts a lot of feel-good quotes and fuzzy artistic photos, which are actually pretty cool. He's still writing music today.
Awesome.
Anthony Smedal, this is the guy I was actually surprised with. He is the drummer from the band Dig. Did you know that?
That was probably one of the indie bands I referred to.
Dig is not an indie band. They were pretty big. We sold them at Sam Goody. I remember playing their CD there. They were pretty big.
I don't remember.
They were Yeah, they were produced by Dave Jordan, who also produced Jane's Addiction, Alice in
Big
Chains,
name.
and Social Distortion. Yeah.
Nothing.
He also played in a band called the Hollow Bodies and also with a guy named Johnny Kaplan on his solo album. I couldn't find any recent information about him except for a post by his Dig bandmate, bassist Phil Friedman, who says that Anthony now has gray hair and looks like Gandalf. And then an actual photo of him from 3 years ago posted by Britt Pinella of Blackboard Jungle, where yes, I can confirm he looks like Gandalf.
No. I want to edit that out. I don't want people to know he looks like Gandalf now.
He's cool. He looks cool. You can find the picture on Facebook.
Gandalf's
It's
not
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
And he's assistant editor for
He's still
TV
got
shows.
super long, like silver hair. It's
Shit,
cool.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Johnny Black. Before the Guttercats, he was billed as John Black, and as Dave said, he's been in several bands such as Hot Rocks and Bad Attitude, and and a band called Mystery City. This is Mystery City going back to 1985. The band was glam mixed with melodic metal and consisted of members of Safety and Numbers and a guy who worked with Chuck Berry, as well as Mark Sin from MC Blade. None of it would give him international stardom of Married with Children, though. And as you said, he did have a brief relationship with Christina Applegate.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Bobby Lycon, obviously the bass player of Shotgun Messiah. So I guess he's the one who really got the biggest fame afterwards, right?
Lucky bastard.
Yeah. He was the replacement for Tim on bass after the departure of original singer Zinny Zan in 1991. Let's see. I did find a photo of him in the band Battalion alongside of Jory Sierra. He looks cool. He's in his lip service shirt, similar to kind of what he actually wore on this stage for the Married with Children episode. Yeah, I'm actually shocked. This was the guy that Kelly thought she was supposed to be dancing with the singer, and she wrapped herself around him while he was playing I like him better.
Yeah.
This is actually his only acting credit, the Married with Children episode, a fantastic cult moment. His website, bobbylycon.com, is defunct. His other band, You and I, from 2004, has absolutely no footprint online, and this is going back to a time I thought they were fictional. So the band has a song that reminds me of Hanoi Rocks. I am clueless as to how this band didn't make it.
Unbelievable.
Unreal. It's a crime. Dirty, sleazy song. And the funny thing is in the Married with Children episode, you hear this song over and over and over again as they do this video because Kelly keeps messing up. And you know what? I don't care. I wanted to hear it over and over and over again.
Too.
I think it was great. It was totally worth it. I was a Kelly Bundy clone at the time, so it was exciting for me. Definitely should have made it, and I'm giving this one a perfect 100.
Hey, Dave, what would you have rather? Would you have rather played in Shotgun Messiah or dated Christina Applegate back then?
I think you know the answer.
Yeah, give me Applegate all day long. Nice score. I was going to go 100, but I figured I'd give myself that 1%. All right, add it up. Where are these guys?
Oh, Des, you are going to love this.
Oh, boy.
So the Guttercats, the not fictional band with their song Decoy Woman, comes in with a great score of 94.9 at number 1 above the Zeros. Love's Not Fair.
That is redemption for the back alley Sally catastrophe that happened. That's awesome. What a great song. All right. Over to side B. Let's flip it over. Let's head over there. Track. No. Dude, wait till I get to track 9, okay? And we're still 5 songs from the end, and I'm fucking I'm texting you guys like, we'll get there. Okay, track 7, Crash Diet. Okay, Crash Diet. Great name for a band. Yeah.
It is a band.
I didn't even think about that.
I know. I liked it much better as a band than as a song. So we're going to get this guitar-driven song here. And Dave, like I said, though both of these guys are decent guitar players, Neither one are great. So I'm just not pulled into the track. It's just nothing here that's making me like, "Oh, I want to learn that," or "Oh my God, how do you play that?" Or "Let me rewind it. What a great lick." No, none of it's there. It's all just fucking fine. It's all just fine. And the song itself, it just fell flat for me. The arrangement just bleeds into itself. Where am I in the song? I need a roadmap. I'm lost in a frozen maze of bushes, just frozen to death with a dumb look on my face. Ugh, I don't want any more. Dave. Shining reference.
Yeah. This one was
Yeah, got it.
this one was written by Axl Rose, West Arkeen, Del James, and guitarist of the band Danny Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Reportedly, Crash Diet is an outtake from Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusions recording session. Sources indicate West and Axl Rose wrote the song intended for Use Your Illusion that GNR didn't release. So Arkeen sold it first to Wildside, who recorded it, but Axl vetoed the release. Then Arkeen sold it to Asphalt Ballet, who released their version on this album, 1993's Pigs. And Wildside later released their version in 2004. It is said to be about the 1984 Vince Neil car accident where Razzle, drummer of Hanoi Rocks, was killed. Fuck you, Vince.
Hey, fuck you, Vince.
Oh yeah, some badass Axl lyrics, but we can hear why it never made it onto a GNR album. The song needed something still, and even between these four dudes, they couldn't get it right. I don't like the double time change for the guitar solo, but the guitar players do fine. The double time continues for the last chorus, and it sounds like Asphalt Ballet can't keep up. I did not hear of Axl actually guesting on this, but the singer's Axl Rose emulation is so deep, you might wonder if Mr. Rose is singing the backups. Comparing the versions, GNR's isn't much better, but to be fair, that's a demo and not a fully produced recording. Wildside's version seems produced well, and I like it the best out of the three.
I can't believe this is written about Razzle. Like, you would never know. I couldn't put a story together. I wasn't listening to this saying this is about a car accident. No. Hey, you could have told me this was about someone making a ham and cheese sandwich. I would have been like, really? Lisa.
So obviously this never made it onto the Guns N' Roses album, right? So picked up off the floor and picked up by two other bands. They call this the revised version. So this obviously isn't the original, and I don't know why they revised it too much. I feel like it would have been better if they just straight up covered the song that GNR did rather than tried to rework it. Immediately we hear the Axl Rose impersonation on the vocals. Which, he's done this in some of the other songs. It's a copying of someone else's style rather than like making the song your own, right? The lyrics are so Guns N' Roses, it's hard not to read them in Axl's voice when you read them. This song actually has structure and has a hook, which we haven't had on most of the album so far. Even when the tempo speeds up and when the guitar solo comes in, it's not a slash solo, and I'm actually thankful for that, because what I wanted again was them to rework the song. I didn't want a cover, and a cover would have been trying to do a slash solo, which they didn't do. So I'm happy for that.
Well, it wasn't a slash solo on the GNR
No,
version either.
I know, but the way the song is written,
Yeah.
like it needs one. Do you know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? So yeah. I do hear both guitarists, though, with different tones in their guitars coming together on this one. The bridge after the guitar solo with the faster tempo and lyrics is delivered as if it's Axl. This seems to me like this is a tribute band for Guns N' Roses with a guy trying to pretend that he's Axl Rose at the front, not an original release or not a reworked song. I needed them to do their own version of it, and they didn't. I think I like the song in general, but I needed to hear somebody else's version of it.
More personality instead of just aping Axl.
Yeah.
It's just more of the same. We just keep echoing the same thought over and over. I've heard it done better before.
But again, I think a lot of this, and you said it too, is the producers and the record labels pushing them to be what they weren't.
Right. But I mean,
You know?
we have to review what we got.
I know.
It's that simple.
I know.
Coming in at number 8, Dead Horse Kick.
Well, maybe I can make you turn out right, yeah. If you can spare your sacrifice, well, that's the way it is. You're standing in a ditch, and your story's getting old, riding that dead horse kick.
So we're at track 8, and I'm just going to be honest with you. At this point, I am completely bored with this album. I'm sitting in the living room looking at my cup of Cafex and just saying, I don't want to go any further with this. I just don't. It's getting to that point where I just don't want to listen to any more. And I was saying to my wife, it's not like the album sucks. Like, this is an album, like if I was at a party back in 94 and, it was a house party, there's 50 people there, we're talking, we're drinking. This is on the boombox cranking in the background. It's fine. Hey, who's this? Asphalt Ballet, Pigs. Oh, not bad. And that's it. I go back to talking. And it's just this soundtrack to the night. But to sit down and listen to this like a record and review it, it's getting mind-numbing at this point. The vocals, they're getting played out, man. Every fucking vocal. It's the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not hearing anything new or amazing or catchy that I want to ever hear again. So does the song suck? No. But do I need to hear it again? Absolutely not. Dave.
All right. Rockin' start to this one. It's okay. This production really is bugging me. When each guitar player does leads, the rhythm guitar drops out and the whole thing feels empty. Guys, it's okay. You can overdub your leads and mix them in. Even in 1993, we had the technology.
Yeah, I don't like it, Dave. I don't like it. We were talking about this on the Destroyer episode where the bass drops out for the beginning of the solo for, I believe, Detroit Rock City. And I don't like that either. I just want the music to be thick behind the guitar solos, Lisa.
So to me, this one, we have a mix of Guns N' Roses vocals with a Skid Row musical structure.
Oh, no.
I think the song actually has a hook, and that's because we have a Skid Row structure. I like the sleazy vocal delivery, and I think for even a bit in this song, and not even just for a second, but for a little while, I actually hear the singer's real voice of his own. I wish we had more of that, because I think it would have made the album better, but I think he was getting pressure to, cover, to steal from what was big at the time. I like the bluesy edge on this one and the little guitar licks through the song. So here's a note. In glam music, especially when you have two guitarists, you would get one guitarist playing rhythm and one guitarist like doing tricks and playing little, you call them licks throughout the song, right? Mm-hmm. They do that a little bit here in this song, but for most of this album, they're not doing that. Like we don't have somebody giving us little tricks throughout the song, because you know why? Because they were trying to grunge up the album, and I think that was a huge mistake. And I think that these guitarists were shackled, and that's why I think we don't really know how good they are because of that. We get a long guitar solo here. Sounds like both players passing back and forth. Fits the song. Stays pretty dark and metal. It's okay. Lyrics tell an actual story here, talking about something too much in an upside down way. Decent song.
Right, Lisa, so many great bands with two guitar players. Rat. I mean, not that Robin Crosby was great, but he played really well with Warren DeMartini. You get these stereo tracks. They're both doing something different. It's interesting. Maybe somebody does something that's, oh, what was that? I want to hear it again. Izzy, Slash, same thing. Listen to Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. Listen to everything Izzy is doing on the other side. It's amazing, and you want to hear it again. Like you said with this, I'm just hearing fucking power chords and fucking like mirroring each other, and it just starts to grind on you.
Somebody put handcuffs on these guitarists.
Yeah,
is what I think.
Yeah, so. I would agree with that. Coming in at track 9, Nothing to Do with Anything.
Let him out, let him out, for just one day I want nothing to do with
where we're at now. That's where we're at now. Nothing has anything to do with anything anymore. So this is where I realized I still had 5 songs to go. 5. Listen to what I'm saying. We still have 5 songs to go. Think about that just as a podcast. We get to talk
Yeah.
about 5 more songs. I rolled my eyes. I couldn't believe it. 13 songs. This album did not need to be 13 songs long. By this time, everything is just starting to sound the same. It was becoming a grind. The vocals just didn't have enough ingredients to keep me coming back for more. Again, the song doesn't suck. No, it doesn't suck, but it's just not interesting enough to carry my attention anymore. And I listened to the album twice. I did. And by the time I came around in this second listen, it was just a train wreck, Dave.
Got a pretty good start here. Drums and bass with light guitars. Sounds a little post-punk to me. This seems like one of their more put together songs. And then, yeesh, I spoke too soon. A few flat vocal notes from the lead singer. It was pretty good until those bum notes.
Terrible. Lisa.
I think I got the same feeling as you. The opening on this song is much earlier 80s than I expected, like that post-punk stuff. Much different vocals on this one, and this might be his real vocals again that we're hearing rather than a copy. Good song structure here. This one feels radio ready for me, especially around this time. There's a hook. There's a good story about having a day where you just want to be left alone. Music is extremely muted here, almost feels synth. Guitar is much more 80s than the rest of the album, and I mean early 80s, not later 80s. The drums, again, sound like they're in a can. Is this the production? I did find myself singing along with the chorus by the end. I like this one.
But Lisa, you were saying like just about having a bad day, right? Like, so I listened to the song twice. I didn't get any of that. I couldn't relate with it. I wasn't like, oh, that's how I feel when I have a bad day. Like, this wasn't like Limp Bizkit, let's say. Like they did that song, what was it called? Break Shit. Just one of those days when everything sucks and you just want to punch somebody in the fucking face. And I listened to that song and yeah, is it trash? Of course, but I love it. That song made me want to listen to it again.
Just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks.
Do you guys like that song?
I do like that song. It's
not.
a guilty pleasure because I don't really like the band.
Yes,
but,
yes. Guilty pleasure. But you hear it once, you know exactly what the guy's trying to say, and you can fucking relate with it, and it's fun. There is nothing of that going on here. If you hadn't told me what it was about, I would have had no idea. Ugh, coming in at track 10, Mercy, Mercy, Save Me.
Well, I sit and watch it fall away. I feel a wheel as it's turning within me. I think I'll roll the dice. Why? Won't someone?
All right, honestly, this is just going to sound like a skipping record. What can I say that I haven't already said? There's just nothing jumping off the page here. These guys can play. The singer can sing. The song isn't terrible, but it also is not exciting or interesting in any way that makes me want to hear any more. The great arrangements and choruses of the first 3 songs are long gone and dried up tracks ago. I cannot distinguish one track from another anymore at this point. There's no more stories. There's no more lyrics to dig into. It's just one long droning note, Dave.
So this is their Pantera copy song.
Oh, God.
Again, no lyrics to be found online. Even the guitar solo seems a little dime-like. Well played, though. The chorus has some harmony vocals that do not sound like Pantera, so I guess that saves it, kind of. But it's not bad. I don't hate it.
Dave, I didn't hear any Pantera here. I wish I heard Pantera. If I had heard some Pantera here, I would have been like, ooh, yes, okay, little Pantera. No, I did not hear any Pantera there.
Well, I heard it.
Lisa, what did you hear?
I did find the lyrics online, by the way.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, fancy you.
And I'm glad I did, because when the vocals come in, I can't understand a word that he's saying.
Yep.
And I needed to read the vocals because I have no idea what he was trying to say. And I don't know if that was on purpose because they said try to be Eddie Vedder or what, but there it is. I do like when he goes kind of into the upper registers. and the person I think he's emulating, Des, you're gonna hate me for this,
no.
David Roach.
Oh no! Stop,
Yeah.
David! Don't clock your
He's
ears.
he's trying to sound like David Roach. I don't necessarily think he gets there, but he's it's not his own thing, right? We do get some lower registers from his voice, which I like a lot, and we hear that in this song. The guitar solo goes into a mismatched key. It feels wrong. The solo itself is fine, but like, why did they put it in this song? It isn't matching what's happening in this song. We get some really similar lyrics to the Pigs song. There's like that "why" that gets dragged out. Why won't someone show mercy on me? And it's the same delivery in the "why" as it was in the Pig song, which I find weird. I do like the bridge on this song. We get some Skid Row vibes here, and the play out vocal run is good, but maybe a little too Axl. But I would like to have heard more of that before they faded it out. But I don't know. This one seems like a ripoff of multiple things to me.
For that overused "why" line, it's like you gotta have a better harmony there if that's gonna be the chorus, right?
Yeah.
Was
They
like,
don't have that. And you know what? They purposely don't have that, because if they had a harmony there, it would sound too much more like a Southern rock song and not like a grunge
so
song.
they just purposely didn't want it to be catchy. Like we could do something really catchy that everybody want to hear again. No, let's not. Let's just sing the one thing. Coming in at track number 11, Down to the Money. So overall, this one was a little closer to what we got at the beginning of the album, but it's lost the edge of, Angry Youth. The chorus is fine, but the lyrics here, super generic. I wish this album was 8 songs, right? With all of the best parts of all of these songs condensed down into 8 decent songs, and then give me that extra layer of frosting, the harmonies that we need, and and again, unchain these guitar players a little bit. And I think we're going to get a much better album here, because none of these guys suck at all. There's just no icing on this fucking dry cake, Dave.
We get a spooky opening on this one. Strong guitar riff, stompy chorus, and a pretty good guitar solo. It's pretty good.
Lisa?
So we're going to disagree on every guitar solo here.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay.
it starts out a little psychedelic, kind of going back to the beginning of the album again.
Yes.
When the chorus comes in, we actually get a hook.
Yes.
We have some nice higher registered vocals, very glam format here. I have a theory, and I think that this and maybe some of the other songs were written in the late 80s as if they were for the first album in glam format, and they were then repurposed and grunged up and kind of destroyed for this album. So that's my theory. I'm getting the sense that they had that like this story is about a prostitute. I think he actually calls this person a whore, or at least someone who's like cheating and lying and just interested in money. I knew someone like that. Another good bridge with some cheeky vocals. We get that section. It's what you got and what are you going to do about it? And he, like, I don't want to say he delivers it as well as David Lee Roth does, but at least we get some cheek in the vocals there. So the guitar solo, because of the structure of the song and how I think it was originally a glam song, I expected it to be much shreddier. It's sloppy and uninteresting. Dave actually liked it. So this one's okay. It opened strong. I was ready for something a little more structured, but it went sideways at the end.
It did, but it was definitely the closest thing to the first 3 songs on the album.
Yeah, it was.
Kind of felt like a normal song. Coming in at number 12, Pay for What You Want.
No one can set you free. Lord, you wouldn't believe. Now you're gonna see. You pay for what you get. Said Everybody got
All right, so I'm totally out of gas at this point. This is more make-believe Alice in Chains with subpar lyrics. these guitar players have completely run out of guitar licks, or the producer just said, we're just gonna fly in the solo from the other song. So you guys don't even need to come back tomorrow. Yeah, I'm tapping out, not because I hate it, more because I'm just bored senseless, and it doesn't have any tasty peaks to bring me back around. Again, if it was playing in the background in the kitchen and I was talking to some chick and staring at her boobs, it'd be fine. Dave.
Funky retro feel on this one. It's funny. As soon as grunge came out, everybody stopped chasing Eddie Van Halen and Yngwie as the top of the guitar mountain, as far as musicians go, and suddenly everybody became the biggest Jimi Hendrix fan.
Yeah.
And all the guitarists immediately threw back to the 60s and 70s. That's what this song just shows me. Pretty good chorus on this one, but I can't even hear the bass.
Dave, every single song at this point was written with the double stop, the Jimi Hendrix double stop. Like,
Yeah.
like everybody, it was like Pearl Jam. Like everybody uses it. I mean, I love it. It's a great trick, but holy shit, like you said, it just became the flavor of the day.
Yep.
Lisa.
Another song about money, two right in a row. I think they had the chorus, or I don't know if it's a chorus, the hook written before they wrote the rest of this song. It's totally Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots
Yeah.
inspired. Very grunge, but the song built around it doesn't match. It's more glam. I do, however, love the dead air stop in the first chorus. It might be my favorite moment on the album. Extremely well executed, almost as good as Skid Row does the dead air stops. It's funny though, in the chorus, the guitars are playing what I think is a grungy riff, like dirty and grimy riff, but the tone of their guitar is clear and produced, almost like you shouldn't have a clear Eddie Van Halen, if you want to say, tone to your guitar if you're trying to play a grunge riff. I don't know. It felt weird to me. We get a guitar solo that's glam psychedelic. I wanted a solo like this for the previous song. I don't know what happened. I do like the tempo change at the end for the play out, and the last 15 minutes of the song are really great. Oh, sorry, 15 seconds. It felt like 15 minutes.
Yeah, last
15 seconds
No.
of the song are really good.
You had it right. It felt like about 25 minutes when I was listening to it. Yeah, not as good as David Lee Roth for sure. Not as good as Skid Row for sure. Just two undernotes. All right, coming in at track number 13 and the final song on this fucking album, Anybody. So it's another Asphalt Ballet song with the same dueling guitar solo I've heard 13 times in a row. More good vocals that go nowhere and nothing to hold my attention. I mean, is it okay for a final song on the album? Sure. Guess, Dave.
Phew, finally, last song. Yay, I can hear the bass again. This one is pretty good. Rhythm guitars are working well together. I do hear some risky choices in the guitar solo, but I appreciate the taking of chances. Not a bad tune.
I appreciate the effort, he says. Lisa.
It seems like we're ending up with a power ballad. In the glam world, you wouldn't end your album with a slow, sad song, right?
No.
But even when the song comes in, so it doesn't remain like a power ballad, it stays ballad-ish, ballad adjacent, even though we get a harder song. We get a 2-section verse and a pre-chorus before the first chorus. Very confusing. It at least has an organization, but I don't think it's flowing naturally for me. They should have held on to the way they had the beginning of the song playing for longer before bringing in all of this extra stuff. We have a nice Skid Row style bridge and a good metal scream heading into a very metal guitar solo. Drums are pulled to the front here, but this for like almost like a drum. I don't want to call it a solo, like a little drum run or something, but it was so simple that even I could play it. So Sean Martello, I will remind you that we played drums together in the school band for a minute.
Nice.
And yes, I actually played drums in a band in 8th grade where we played 4 songs in the talent show.
What was the name of this power slap group?
The band's name was Euphoria.
Ooh, Euphoria. Okay.
Oh, sad times. Yeah. There's no video of that. I just want to put that out there.
So there it is. That's our discussion on the Pigs album. Kevin, I'm sorry. This probably wasn't the review you were looking for, but it was free. Let's head over. We'll talk about our peaks and valleys on this one. What was my favorite track? I mean, I think it's obvious. It was Angry Youth. It was really the only fully fleshed out song on the album. What track would I cut? Save the Children, because the title is horrible and the song was equally as horrible. Dave.
My favorite track, can I pick Wildside's version of Crash Diet?
Sure.
But besides that, I'll pick Nothing to Do with Anything, despite the bad lead vocal notes.
That was a good one.
Yeah. And you're going to.
And
Yep.
sorry, yeah, I would cut Daddy's Dying. It's annoying.
So fucking terrible. Lisa.
Yeah.
Angry Youth is my favorite, and I'm going to cut Anybody. I think it needed to be like 3 separate songs. So,
All right. If you had to replace one member of the band, who would it be and who would get the gig? I'm firing Tommy Dean and Danny Clark, 2 members, and I'm replacing them with Lane Stanley and Jerry Cantrell. And this is Alice in Chains, and it's much better band, Dave.
All right. Well, I doubt you'd notice much difference, but maybe it would be a little better. Let's replace the singer with Joe Lestay from Bang Tango.
ooh,
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
He'd get that screech in there.
yeah,
And
high notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back to a fucking metal glam band. Lisa.
I'm replacing Mickey Kiner, and I'm bringing in friend to the show, Patrick Mazingo of Junkyard.
Poor Pat's got to come play in this band. Don't do it, dude. Don't take the invitation. All right, let's head over, do some final thoughts and some Watt scores. I mean, guys, how many bands did we talk about today besides fucking Asphalt
A
Ballet?
lot.
A lot. And they're from so many different genres. This album didn't know what it wanted to be. This was a soup with so many ingredients. It just got overdone and tasted bad at the end. This album's problem is it's missing key ingredients to make it a delicious bowl of soup. It was good for the first few bites, but left me needing more spices to order this one again. So for me, it is pushing 65.9 watts. It definitely doesn't suck, but I won't be going back for seconds. Dave.
this album is so long, 51 minutes. I'm old. I grew up in the vinyl era. A rock record should be 35, 40 minutes long. They definitely should have cut at least 3 to 4 songs from this album just for time. I understand, the idea became to give CD buyers more music for their money when you buy an album. But if you're turning listening into an endurance sport, maybe think twice. I won't re-listen to this one. Nothing really grabbed me. I suppose it would be okay for background music, like Des mentioned, at a party. You don't have anything else. You're on a road trip. It's not terrible, but unfocused for style. A better producer and maybe a more experienced singer could have helped this, I guess. I don't hate it, but I don't really like it all that much. It's just fine. I'm giving it a 38.5.
I want to go lower. I was trying to be nice to the listener.
I would have scored higher, but the other albums on our chart at least had hit songs. Love them or hate them. No hit songs on here.
I want to change my score. Can I change my score? All right, so it's a below average. It's a listen, 49. I mean,
Too late.
I'm not sandbagging it. 49.
Too late.
We need to discuss our scores before the show. Lisa.
Judges say,
All right, I got shot down. I got to stick with my 65.9. That's way too high, Lisa.
So I think this album was a reaction to what was happening in music publicly and a way for the band to survive for a second album. When this album ended on Spotify, it began playing their first album, which I remember a lot better. and I think was far superior to this one because they were allowed to actually play their own style and be themselves rather than like forcing them into this new style. I think a lot of these songs maybe even have been, as I said, were written for the previous album, were grunged up. And I feel like that in some of the songs, when they did that, it felt like two songs were jammed together. You had the old glam song, which they originally wrote, and you had the new grunge song, and they would like mix it up. Like, oh, we'll take the grunge chorus for this one and the glam verse for this one. And it got a little confusing. I understand the reason that they did that was because if they didn't, their original style, had they made like an original style album, like their first album again, it wouldn't have sold, right? To be fair, they weren't going to sell anyway. None of this style was selling at the time, and it wasn't necessarily their fault, right? I did find some things to like on this album. I like the harder stuff. I like the Skid Row Slave to the Grind vibe. I like the lower registers of the singer's voice. But I think that the producer or the record labels did them dirty, forcing them into a direction that wasn't where they wanted to go. I didn't really remember any of the songs despite owning the album and definitely remembering the cover art. I can't see myself listening to this end to end again. It's a little too grunge for me. I really wish that these guys were allowed to record an album in their own style, because this album didn't sell. The album that they created, the grunge album, didn't sell. And an album in their own style also wouldn't have sold. But right now, today, as this music is resurging, they would have two solid albums to bring back onto tour with all of these bands that are out there touring now. And what they have instead is an album that was pretty good and in their own style, and an album that really wasn't their style, right? So it's kind of hard to bring them back into this world when they grunged up their stuff and they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm giving this a 51.3.
Okay. Dude, I agree. In retrospect, I really wish that I had picked the first album because at least it was original, and I think it was probably a better, product of what Asphalt Ballet originally was supposed to be. And, you hit the nail on the head. They never had a hit song, and they didn't have an identity that spanned two albums, so you can't really bring them onto these, rock cruises and stuff because people just don't know them.
Yeah, and I think, even though their album in either case wouldn't have sold, at least if we had two of their original real selves, we would have some music today to bring along on these tours.
We don't even have the same singer from two albums. That's a problem.
I mean, even so, they at least could have done something that was truly theirs.
Yep, I agree. All right, add it up. Tell us where it lands. 65.9. What? Go ahead. Add it up. Add it up.
Okay. So 1993's Pigs album from Asphalt Ballet ends up on our charts at number 36 with a total score of 51.90, just below Fastway's Trick or Treat and just above Warrant's Cherry Pie.
Okay, I'd rather listen to Cherry Pie, but I said in my mind, when you were reading it off, I said, Des, if this beats Fastway's Trick or Treat, you're going to have to veto their veto and bring the score down. So I'm glad we didn't have to go down that road. All right, Lisa, you have the next pick. What's our homework for the next 2 weeks?
I do. So for the next 2 weeks, we're going to go back to 1987.
Good year.
For Dawkins' Back for the Attack.
Dude, I am so down for this album. I am so down. Back for the fucking attack. We're going to get some choruses. Yep. We're going to get some songs we know. We're going to get some guitar talk between me and Dave. This is going to be fucking great. Okay, and for the Should They Have Made It segment.
For the Should They Have Made It, we're going to San Francisco, 1988 for this one. The band is Alley Cat Scratch. Stiletto Strut is the song. But I also want you to take a look at the video for Take a Bit Out of Me, which was like an actual well-produced video, but I like the song Stiletto Strut better, so we're going to do Stiletto Strut.
All right.
That one doesn't have an official video, but it has a lot of audio.
Nice. Yes, a band that I have witnessed before, so this should be fun.
Oh, really?
Not in person or anything. I just am aware of the band, so.
Okay, good.
Awesome. All right. Next, hey, did you ever see that movie? We will be doing our follow-up to Kill Bill Volume 1 by doing Kill Bill Volume 2. Again, I have not seen these two movies, so First one was great. I think I gave it a perfect score, and we'll see how this one follows up. So until next time, take those albums out of the sleeve and let the music breathe. See you next time.